respectively. Jake, what is your main takeaway other than Twisted Minds just continuing to be so dominant?
I mean, I think Twisted Minds' incredible dominance almost obscures the fact that this region is really strong top to bottom. Like, a lot of these teams are really impressive and maybe in the past could have top regions, have qualified to international lands. I think this is one of the hardest regions to qualify out of right now. Like, TM and VP are setting such an incredible standard, but Jeikai and Qadsiya look like good teams. Like, they are bringing the heat in some of these matches. Even Anyone's Legend and Team Peps are serious opponents. Like, this is such a crazy stacked region, and it's going to be an interesting playoff because teams really have to think about how the heck they're going to try to qualify with competition like this in the region.
That's right. Now, if we're looking at our bracket, of course, Twisted Minds coming out on top in the standings. That means that they got to pick their opponent. They went with Qadsiya, which leaves Virtus.pro with Geekai. Any surprises there, pick-wise? I mean, I guess, Matt, it doesn't really matter for Twisted Minds.
Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't necessarily matter, right? I mean, but they do get to pick the, what they deem is like the weaker opponent, right? So they force, Geekai to go play up against VP there. Maybe, something wild happens in that game and they get Qadsiya in round number 1. But with the way that Twisted Minds has looked, like, it kind of doesn't matter who they play. Like, yeah, I love how you said that the VP kind of like solidified second. It's like, yeah, they're definitely in that match. Not really not really a contender with Twisted Minds just yet. They've been unreal.
Yeah,
so chances of them meeting in the finals is pretty high then, Jake, right?
Yeah, you got to expect that rematch is coming surely at some point in the playoff. I mean, those two.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. ويلكم يا سلطان. يلا حيه يا مرحبا يا مرحبا يا سلطان. أهلا وسهلا أهلا وسهلا. منور يا حبيبي منور منور. حياك الله.
Potential is in an international competition, and for Twisted Minds, they are very much putting their
يا اخوان بس
EMEA Overwatch and saying that they're still the team to beat.
لا يا الغالي ما توريهم كل شيء الله يسعدك.
Remember, this is still the world champion squad. They have to sort of be looking at this EMEA competition as just a warm up, just an appetizer, because they are looking to claim more international trophies. They want to stay on top as the #1 team in the world.
منور يا سلطان منور.
This world champ squad is crazy. Like, that is another level of power and something that, like, they've done exactly the right amount of change to continue to grow as a world champion team, which is kind of a hard like
دقيقة بس يا سلام ثواني ضبط البصبيط.
Maybe make a little tweak here and there. I really think they made a great move bringing Jaywood to this team.
Which is crazy because they've already been such a dominant roster, and then they just replace an incredible player with an even more incredible player. So yeah, a wealth of riches over for Twisted Minds. Now of course they are on cruise control heading.
بالتوفيق القادسيه بنورك. يلا توفيق للجميع ان شاء الله. ما نتحيز لأحد لان كلهم افريقيا سعوديه يا سلطان. انا ودي اثنينهم يتاهلون صراحه مع جيكاي. اي فريق سعودي يتاهل. ثواني بس الدعم المادي لو حاب تدعم. تمت الرسالة هذه عشان لا أحد إذا جاء أحد بيدعم لا يدعم من اليوتيوب. توفيق القادسيه شكلك محب القادسيه يا شكلك تحب القادسيه يا سلطان. ما تلام مين ما يحب القادسيه. خلونا نغرد يا جماعه في لا نقول بسم الله بدينا بث.
Here we're kicking things off in EMEA and NA, and then it's several weeks for the EMEA and NA qualifiers to just kick back, relax, watch the competition. Is that an advantage for them? Does it matter at all? What do you feel like, Jake?
I think they're going to just stay grinding on it. I mean, this is a group where once you sort of set that elite elite top teams apart in terms of the qualifiers, we've seen I've been hearing that a lot of EMEA and NA teams are actually screaming each other despite the ping difference. So to really try to push both regions to be at their peak. So I don't know that it's an advantage or a disadvantage. I think every team around the world is going to be putting in maximum effort. Like, interest in Overwatch is kind of at a recent all-time.
لا ضد الوردي انا يا اخوان ليه يا ولد ليه توستد حبيب الكل يا ولد.
Matt, you had some things to say there in rehearsals about the up-and-coming region that is Korea.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, they're kind of, you know, shaking.
تويستد حبيب الكل يا سلطان.
Watching all our teams here in EMEA, and you know, maybe if they're bored, they watch a little bit of NA. But yeah, I mean, look, those playoffs are going to go on for ages. I mean, what, they have like a new hero, Sierra, that got announced yesterday. Like the you know, a bunch of balance changes kind of coming down the line. Those playoffs will be quite interesting. Maybe some odd results come out of it.
Yeah, everything's possible in the world of Overwatch. But we do get ahead of ourselves.
يلا يا ولد تسولفون واجد انتوا، يلا اعطونا الشغل، اعطونا الحماس.
Day 1 of our EMEA playoffs. We're starting with Twisted Minds against Katsuya, and then we're moving on to Virtus Pro.
حبيب على نفسه. افا ليه يا سلطان؟ ليش يا سلطان مزعلينك؟
America has a stacked lineup right after EMEA with Dallas Fuel versus Lunex and Space Station Gaming versus Team Liquid. That will all happen in just a few hours. But before we get into our matches today, can I ask for your kind support for the Champions Clash with the Elysian Keeper crowdfunding mega bundling?
كلهم حبايبنا والله يا سلطان، كلهم تويستد القادسيه، الله يوفق الجميع ان شاء الله. ودنا احنا يعني انه كل فرق السعوديه تأهل، قادسيه وتويستد وجيكاي كلهم تأهلون، لكن البطوله مش عايزه كذا يعني. فريقين فقط راح يتأهلون للميجر، فريقين، فان شاء الله انهم اثنينهم سعوديين يا رب.
This bundle alone will make these three heroes meta again.
I don't know if that'll happen.
Like, Wu Yang is ripped, all right?
Yeah.
Like, he's been grinding in the
Just
lab. Little bro,
in
no
my
more.
parts of the world, gold. Reinhardt has never left, so still going strong with this bundle.
Reinhardt is a big boy. I mean, you see how wide he is? I mean, he's...
Yep.
I don't even know how he fits through doorways. He's like the size of Lifeweaver and Wu Yang combined, sideways.
The life of a giant. The life of a giant. It's not relatable for the likes of you and I.
Johnny has those problems.
Vertically challenged. Yeah, Johnny definitely has the problem. Twisted Minds, also the giant of the region.
يا رب يا كريم يا رب.
Let's talk about that and about their.
كيف سير ماجد مع القادسيه؟ الله يا تفنت. سير ماجد نقول ان شاء الله ان اموره طيبه باذن الله. تو يعني له فتره قاطع عن الاشياء هذه، والحين رجع الحمد لله ويرجع احسن باذن الله. لأن الصراحة نحتاجها معنا في المنتخب لو كأس العالم. السلام، عندنا هي القادسية تويستد. والله تويستد مرعبين، والله يا سلطان تويستد مرعبين جدا. صراحة شيء ينقال. حاليا أنا أشوف إن تويستد أفضل فريق في العالم من ناحية لعبة اوفرواتش، ما في زيه. مرعبين ما شاء الله تبارك الله. يعني عندك كواردز مصنف من افضل لاعب في العالم. لما يجي في بالك افضل لاعب في العالم على طول يجي في بالك كواردز. ديفنت عندك افضل تانك في العالم. ما شاء الله. سبورتاتهم كلهم كل واحد يقول انا احسن من الثاني، ما في واحد طاغي على الثاني.
We talk a lot about the DPS line, but this support line, for my money, best in the world. You know, funny.
مادي أنا أتوقع شايف المباريات وذا، والله سير ماجد مادي كويس مع القادسية.
This is a very much a team of the moment, and they've only gotten stronger from their previous international showing. So I think they're the odds-on favorite to stay world champions and win Champions Clash. So the EMEA playoffs should be a walkover for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty obvious the last 3 weeks of play that you can't target ban a single individual on this roster. They've been very, very flexible. They've already been flexible last year. They kind of can play everything on such a high level that you just kind of have to catch them off guard, right? Now, Katsuya, obviously a dominant force last year, heading into 2026. They're coming into this.
الله على ذكريات سير ماجد في كأس العالم. كأس العالم هذاك له ذكريات خاصة. بعد قلبتنا لمنتخب الصين. الله كيف تحس كذا في ريحة حميدي، في ريحة هاك وسير ماجد يوبي.
I also think it's like specifically really tough for Alqadsia because this is a team that we've talked about. Like, look, like they obviously have a lot of potential. These players have played at a incredibly high level for a while, but it's a team that kind of feels like just kind of thrown together from players from all different teams and regions. And they were going to need some time to gel. So like having them have to play against TM here at the beginning of the playoffs, not ideal.
اليوم ما فيه الوضع مجامل. اليوم خلاص اللي يخسر برا. على طول قريب القادسيه غيروا تشكيله كامله جدا، شقلبوا كل شيء، شيء ما يخش العقل. صحيح كنا نشوف لبدح وزياد موجودين الحين، فجأة كذا لمحة كذا طلعوا. الله يوفقهم وين ما كانوا ان شاء الله. بالعكس احنا ندعم اللاعب السعودي وين ما كان. انا اتكلم عن نفسي يعني ما عندي تحيز الفريق، اذا كان ضدي فريق ما هو سعودي يعني بعد المباراة هذه حق تويستد والقادسيه راح نشوف جيكاي ضد فيرتس، وراح اشجع جيكاي كاني اشجع اخوي. فريق سعودي يا اخوان، لابد من الدعم. اي والله قسم بالله انك صادق يا سلطان. قادسيه لما كان في لبدح وزياد كان شبه بطل، الفريق كان مرعب، بس ما ادري ايش اللي صار. دائما الادارات يعرفون ايش يسوون، الادارات تعرف دائما مصلحه الفريق.
Yeah, I mean, I went with Twisted Minds as well. The only thing that makes me sad is that their series are so fast and it makes it difficult to get the drops. So that's the only bad part about Twisted Minds at the moment to me.
بدل ما عزز الفريق جابوا فريق جديد. شوف انت تقول يا سلطان شيء وفي بالك شيء، كل واحد في باله شيء وعنده شيء، بس دائما إدارة الفرق تعرف ايش تسوي لمصلحة الفريق. فما حد يدري ايش اللي صار، ما حد يدري بالحقيقة وش شيء، ما تدري يعني. لكن نقول الله يوفقهم ان شاء الله.
7% of our audience does believe in Qadsiya, so we do love the support.
Those people just have extra channel points to gamble.
تجديد الدماء للكل حرفيا. شيل الخمسة جيب 5 ثانيين ها.
They're gonna cash in if this one is gonna come out the way they predict. Alas, we here on the desk do not think so, but proof's in the pudding. Let the teams play. Let's see what they have in store for us, guys. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, Zoe, and you know, as we're
ثانك يو لكم. اعطونا الجيم بس ارجوكم، بسم الله على بركة الله. اول ماب لي جنج من اختيار تويستد، يا رب يا كريم وفق الفريقين. تويستد داخلين المنافسة 5-0، ما قد خسروا ولا جيم في البطولة هذه ما شاء الله. اتوقع راتبهم عالي عشان كذا. ممكن ممكن لا، يعني انت لا تنسى انه القادسيه مسكتها اكبر شركه في العالم يعني. ممكن ما هو بعائق انه يكون راتب عالي اللاعب، ما حد يدري ايش اللي صاير. البندات عندنا تويستد بندوا الياري، بندوا الياري تويستد، والقادسيه بندوا ديفا عشان يهدون من خطوره تيفنت يعني، لان تيفنت بديفا اقوى تيفنت في التاريخ، جابوا 5 رواتب اقل. والله اعلم يا سلطان، دائما مصلحه الفريق دائما فوق اي شيء، دائما مصلحه الفريق فوق اي حاجه، فوق اي لاعب، فوق اي حب، فوق اي انتماء. مصلحه الفريق اهم شيء. حياكم الله يا اللي موجودين في البث، لا تنسون تحطون لايك للبث. اللايك ما يخسرك ولا شيء ابدا، ولا يسوي والله ضغطة زر فقط بس، اللهم انا مره يعني يفيدني كثير اللايك والله، فلا تنسوا تحطون لايك وتدعمونا يا اخوان. الله يسعدكم ان شاء الله. كالعاده تشكيله تويستد. جيوو راح يلعب فانديتا، صح فانديتا وزاريا كومبو، وكوارتز كالعاده ايمري سمبل كيري وفاني استرو لوسيو. شوف سير ماجد يلعب كيري. يا عيال عندنا فرح، يلعبون فرح غريب الموضوع، يلعبون فرح. فرح تلعب فرح وضد كواردز اقوى سكان في العالم ما شاء الله يعني، ما ادري صراحه. اوكي قادسيه خذوا البوينت. جيوو غير فانديتا وراح تريسر، افضل الصراحه، احس افضل.
I mean, fun's over. Matt, Jwoo on the tracer. This is
عرف السلة قاعد يلعب موقع.
Quartz already opens up.
اوه يلبك كوارتز.
TVNT steps up, forcing the pressure on point.
الله
Stola's gonna have to hold
الله.
on to this, but he doesn't have much support behind him. He's gonna send it down mid instead. And with that shout, he's staying healthy, but ultimately
انا حشر.
against him. TVNT biding his time, playing his health pool, and it's all clean up in the feed here for TM. I think this is a perfect tracer swap from Jwoo.
Oh, I mean, totally agree, right? You know, you go over to the tracer here, you can put a little bit more pressure on the Pharah. Taejong, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, you're going to see a swap here over to the Vendetta. So they actually now want to play the Vendetta Zarya on Katsuya's side. So maybe thinking they can get at least like a window of an opportunity here in this next fight coming up where they have an advantage. But
اكيد راح يغير فرح.
swaps there from Twisted Minds.
صراحة فرح ما تنفع.
On back.
Here comes Quartz, override
تنفع
protocol.
في ريجنج بس مو بذا
Out of this
الباب
one.
الثاني.
Is good, but it's not
اوه يا
good enough. Now
كوارتز.
into the spawn. Valda does get the trade onto Quartz with a helpful damage from Taejong, but that late kill onto the Vendetta means TM are going to be back at full strength to hold this point. I do think Katsuya are going to be able to break this initial choke for free, though. TM probably going to wait for that hit scan to take a fight.
Yes, Taejong now going to go over Tracer as well. So it's going to be like a Tracer matchup here as Jwoo already just going to put some pressure onto the Tracer from
Tracer ضد Tracer. الفايت القوي الفايت العظيم.
Into the orbital rate that Gala's going to have.
Yeah, beat من طرف تويستد.
Sound barrier from Bunny Astro trying to protect everybody from as much of this override protocol as he can. But nice shot from Aid though, taking out Astro in the sky.
Yeah, there's something to be fought for, but in the end, you got a high energy Zarya TVNT. Vestola already dropped to the pressure of that grab, so the late tank swap has a cost associated with it. TM now holding onto the point at 70%. And Quartz, these late kills are really going to bite given the minimal block that Alqadsia are working with.
Yeah, you see Taejong trying to put some pressure on a Quartz, but you know, Jwoo here.
هذا الكلام اللي أنا قاعد
as
أقوله من
well.
أول.
The Tracer
يا
just
أخوان
gonna
ما
go
شاء الله
so
تبارك
careful. Yeah, they're gonna wrap
تويستد.
around to the spawn here, try and catch him off guard.
Yeah, great pressure. Jwoo follows
تويستد
up
مرعب
on
ما
Quartz's
شاء الله
damage
تبارك
call
الله.
there on
فريق
Gala.
مرعب.
And Katsuya, they're forced to come touch the point.
إضافة جي وو يا عيال إضافة
Pick up on the
خرافية
Lucio.
جدا. والله
Yes, you
إضافة
probably
قوية
give the
مرة.
point flip, but now, oh, you're in a 3v5.
الفريق
against
قوي
Twisted
أصلا
Minds, and it's already
بدون لا يضيفون
I
جي
mean,
وو
well,
بس.
what they had to go and contest the point, right? Nothing they could really do there to kind of keep this one rolling and potentially kind of get into OT. But yeah, you're not setting yourself up for a great last fight. Gala trying to wall ride, get there, maybe going to contest. He gets taken out. Vestola falls as well. So this should be Twisted Minds putting away the first round.
Yeah, great strategic
so we touch.
dominance from TM there. That aggro push into spawn, putting Alqadsia between a rock and a hard
C9.
place, right? You
Quartz-
gotta
Quartz
touch
كاتب
that point.
C9.
It's overtime. You have no choice in the matter.
البوينت الأولى راحت تويستد. والله كما يعني كما هم متوقع شباب الصراحة.
From Twisted Minds, all it took was one
كما هم
tracer swap.
متوقع
And they really resolved the counter comp. that
إنه
Katsuya
راح
threw at
تكون
them. So,
سيطرة
Katsuya definitely trying to
تويستداوية.
be cheeky, right? And I think that's the right approach. I really don't think you want to play the heads-up mirror. But will it be enough? I mean, Twisted Minds, nothing has really thrown them for a loop so far this stage. I mean, and much less in that first round.
Yes, I mean, look, I think
ما
it
أدري
was
أحس إني
pretty
مظلم يا
interesting
أخوان.
from the
تحسون
start
ظلام وجهي ظلام.
from Katsuya,
كذا
right?
أحسن
Coming out with
ولا
like
أنور
this
زيادة.
Vara based comp, but it seems like Twisted Minds just knew exactly kind of like what to do against it. So TM's not going to try the Vendetta off the rip here. They're going to try the Far of their own. It's Vestola back over to the Maga. So they really want to try
هنا
and get this
تنفع
Maga
فرح.
work with, you know, the
في هذا الماب
Juno
اللي
Fury.
جنك تنفع فرح هنا.
The one thing that they kind of got stuck on last round, Jake,
هي
was like
ادفانتج كبير،
Gala
ماب
ended up
وسيع
having to stay on the
وكبير
Juno for
وتقدر
so long.
يطير
He had
براحته
the little array,
ويطيح.
like, felt like he needed to use it, but like you didn't have that sound barrier at the end. Like, and the speed from Bunny Astro was just so impactful.
Full out from Vestola. Great hold on the rocket there. Baits the blink out. Finds the connect onto Taejong. Quartz finishes it off. And
يا
now
جيو.
they're mid-air here from Jwoo. And I mean, this point...
يا عيال الغريب ان
Jwoo.
القادسيه يلعبون
Just
موقع.
immaculate play on the far, understanding the
يا
matchup
اخي انت تلعب
perfectly.
ضد محترفين يا اخي تانك بدون شيلد احس ما
And
شاء
now
الله.
for Katsuya, it's like, what do you do, right?
وجهة نظري. ما ينفع تانك بدون
play
شيلد.
the Zarya. You're gonna play the Zarya with the
كوين
Juno
هوج
in Fury as well.
ما هو
so
قاعد
still
بدون
trying to
شيلد ما
maybe
ينفع
play
لازم تانك في
around
شيلد
that orbital
لازم.
array. So Taejong will be able to get a point, so maybe he'll just kind of like drag some
Yeah,
players
yeah,
off.
point.
See how much damage he's taking, whether it be from the Pharah or the Emre, just getting poked out and being forced away from the point. It's going to be 30% already for Twisted
هاي يا
Minds.
سلطان باقي موجود يا سلطان.
Yeah, the walk-up is painful. And look
كيف
at the
وضع
aggression
قادسية يا
from
ولد.
Quartz and Funny Astro here, just taking any opportunity they can to put pressure here on Katsuya. Now a step up on the point with the override protocol. Zarya caught in no retreat.
يجي يا زاريا. ما في أحد معه.
Really can't assist that, but their lives. Quartz is taking pressure.
مجنون كوارتز ما شاء الله تبارك الله.
I expect to see a full cleanup
خلاص
here.
انا رايح خذ واحد معي.
Quartz really putting the screws to القادسيه. I mean, every opportunity with this Emra, he is just absolutely in there, in the thick of the fight. We sort of think of this guy as a backline hit scan player, but
yeah,
he is showing that he's more than willing to dance at close range.
Quite aggressive on the Emra, and you know there it was a really difficult thing for Vistola, right? He steps up onto the point, bubble used, and then he gets kind of booped around the corner into the override protocol. To be Kitsune rushes from both sides here. Jay will end up using this barrage.
البراج اسمع حد مات.
Dangerously low. Gala low as well. They use the override protocol. Not able to keep their Zarya alive though, Jake, and feels like this has gone from bad to worse here for Katsia.
والله تبن تاكي في البوينت.
Yeah, this round pretty much looks over. I mean, maybe Taejon can touch the point, but TVNT has grab. He could go for a cheeky overtime deny. I don't think he is probably going to look to take any risk because
سلطان قاعد يلعبون زي الزفت. ليه
it's hard to see Katsia outfighting that. The bubble though does get Taejon a solid touch on the point, but it grab onto Vistola. Big problem. Zarya already.
مش يلعبون زي الزفت بس.
Yeah, it's gonna be the orbital ray on the point here, kind of
والله تويستد فارق عن الجميع ما شاء الله.
Katsia, but I mean, sound barrier plus grab, Vistola never really to get anything rolling on this Zarya.
الجيم الأول
Katsia and Twisted Minds dominant as
القادسيه لازم يعرفون يا جماعه انه البطوله هذه خروج مغلوب، يعني تنهزم تطلع برا، لازم تلعب بكل المواجهات من قوه. لا البطوله هذه تاهلت الميجر، يعني تاهلت شيء كبير لازم.
They are not thinking of the fans drops. I promise you that, Matt. They are thinking about lifting a trophy in that coming tournament, and this is the type of performance that'll get you there. Quartz, almost 10k damage in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I mean this one was at least the early round, right, on Lijiang Tower. That one was kind of like, you know, back and forth, right? You know, maybe they were kind of kills exchange on both sides. Round number 2 though was like that was quite ugly. As we take a look at some of the highlights here, a lot of them going to be Twisted Minds just kind of pushing Katsia back to the spawn. And I just think, Jake, like even with some nice adjustments from Katsia, like Twisted Minds just always had the answer.
I'm not gonna lie, Matt. I mean, you won the first fight on control with the cheese comp, and you didn't win another fight.
And
like
that was about it.
That's like, I mean, for TM, it's like that first fight they lose. Okay, I go Tracer. Now we win. And I mean, even the Pharah will look even better from Jwoo. And Pharah is actually a hero that I think has a real place in the meta. Like I don't know that she's going to be played all the time everywhere, but I think having a Pharah as good as Jwoo is a massive asset. I also got to hand it to Simple. Finding these crucial headshots.
وجهة نظر تحس أول مرة يلعبون وجد المستوى.
I really am curious. Do like a damage per minute check on all the carries. I think Jwoo, or rather, I think Simple is top of the line there. Like he finds so many of these crucial headshots, setting up the DPS and the tank for success.
Yeah, I mean, the backline from Twisted Minds is just so good. And you look at them like, you know, potentially like best in the world type because they're so flexible. And I think it's obviously, you know, the skill of Simple on all those different, you know, heroes that we've known him to play. You know, we've seen him play like some of the Zen last year.
ما عليك في عودة إن شاء الله. لازم تعرف يا سلطان أن الاختيار الماب هذا من اختيار تويستد، يعني لهم أفضلية. في إن شاء الله عودة القادسيه بإذن الله.
Grown so much as a player over the last like few years, right? Being able to play some of these other heroes outside of Lucio at a really high level, which is important for this team.
Yeah, I mean, in this era of Overwatch, right, you can't be a one trick. It's just not viable anymore. You get attacked by bans, so it's definitely an asset for the team.
لو جبت 5 يلعبون رانك فازوا على القادسيه. لا
لا
مو للدرجة دي سلطان، لا مو للدرجة دي لا. شوف أنا أتفق معك إنه القادسيه مو بنفس القادسيه التشكيل اللي راحت، هذا اتفق معك، بس مش بالسوء لدرجه الكلام اللي تقوله انت سلطان، لا مو بالسوء هذا لا.
I won't go towards, you know, I haven't gotten the TikTok yet, but we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, Twitch, obviously here. We'll make sure you're following, make sure you have your notifications on, because we have a lot coming on, right? Like, so we showed, like, there's like, you know, 4 or 5 other regions doing playoffs after this. We obviously have Champions Clash, so a lot of awesome Overwatch esports stuff coming on the horizon.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. And with the game, you know, changing as fast as it has been recently, it feels like there's always something new being thrown at you in competition.
Yeah, like Alec was, I think they had like a vlog that went up a little bit earlier today. Like while we were doing the rehearsal, I was like, whoa, wait, that's a lot coming. And then you kind of see the date. It's like, hey, that's next week. It's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, so much awesome stuff going on with the game.
عندنا الماب الثاني الآن راح يكون إن شاء الله من اختيار القادسيه، وراح تشوف مستوى القادسيه الكويس يا سلطان. إن شاء الله.
As we'll go to Atlas here for the next map. Jake doesn't really post anything, so don't follow him, just me.
Oh, come on now, Matt. You're going to throw me under the bus like that?
Hey, I'm trying to set up the next map. Hold on a sec. So Katsia here, they will take us to Atlas. What do you think about this decision here? Like this, you can play some like Mog on this map. Like maybe we see them try and ban like a. Do they want to try and get rid of the Zarya maybe and try and play some of that Maga setup?
Yeah, I feel like you got to ban Lucio maybe if you're gonna go to Flashpoint. You know, if you, I mean, to be honest, Matt, I'm not seeing the ban that does it for them. Like, you know, like I against some teams, I'm like, oh yeah, they really, this is their style, and maybe the Lucio Curie is sort of the ban direction you look at here. Maybe you want to save a Curie ban for another map, like, you know, think about like a hybrid.
نشوف البندات أول شيء. خلينا نشوف الماب وش ونشوف البندات. باند الياري ذكي مرة جدا من تويستد عشان يحدون شوية من سير ماجد.
But here on Atlas, you know, it's awkward because you ban Lucio Curie and Twist might just go Juno Brig and basically run the exact same style at you with a twist, and it's not like it really changes anything about their power level. I guess you'd rather have Simple and Funny Astro on Juno Brig where they can't carry as hard, and they agree with that. They're gonna
okay.
Yeah, they're gonna ban
باند موقع من تويستد يمكن عشان تانك حق قادسيه يلعب موقع كثير. عندنا باند موقع من تويستد وعندنا لوسيو، باند لوسيو من القادسيه. شوف البندات يعني نوعا ما منطقيه شوي.
to slow Twisted Minds down at all. For Katsuya, I mean, at this point, it's about finding a flashpoint, right? Where like a map win, like let's cross that bridge when we get there. It's about you know, kill by kill, fight by fight.
Bro, map win, dude. We're trying to see like 3 fights. Like let's start.
Yeah, like we can't even.
Let's get 2-3 fights.
It's actually tragic that we're talking about fight wins. We're talking about fight wins here, man. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, that'll be the next thing that we go to. Like the Twisted Mind stats will start to get so absurd. It's
how
like,
many
how many team fights have they lost in the last, you know, 30 games?
How many kills did you get against TM in the last game? Like, oh,
شكرا على القلوب، شكرا على القلوب.
Yeah, no, we celebrate that. It'll be Twisted Minds here. They'll probably have Jay Wu switch here to, you know, okay, I was gonna say Tracer Vendetta. Interesting for Katsia here. They're gonna play the Vendetta with the Tracer.
I like this actually. This is a good way to like change things up a little bit. You really push.
Okay. Oh my God! البك البدري.
It's not looking good.
اوف يا البك البدري.
And man, it is crumbling here on.
When have you? So
obviously,
you were a professional player at some point. You can maybe find those videos on the internet if you look hard enough.
No.
What was like the feeling like playing against some of those teams that you guys knew going in you were gonna like? It was
مات بدري مرة.
What are the vibes like? Like, what is even kind of going through like a team like Katsia's mind right now?
I'm not gonna lie. This is about as bad as I've ever seen it in terms of like. There's no hope. Like we want to inject hope so badly into some of these moments, but that first point is like, oof. Well, Alqadsia, Twisted Mind just bat them away here on Atlas. Feel a little bit of aggression here.
Here we go.
You gotta find something, right? You gotta be willing to push the pace, but Twisted Minds are so good at adapting. They're willing to play slow when it's the right move. And Quartz, all the space in the world to take these aim duels away. Good damage from aim. Wins that duel. That's the kind of fight. Put some wind in your sails. TM.
عندك فرصة لكورتس مات، عندك فرصة خش.
Twisted Minds are not out of this one yet, man.
Yeah, I mean, you end up getting the trade there for Twisted Minds, but Taejong actually takes out Funny Astros, so maybe you're actually able to make something out of this here for Katsia. As Katsia does a nice job. They were really low, Jake, with Twisted Minds controlling the high ground, but Katsia's done a nice job kind of healing everybody up, and then they'll end up flipping the point. So nice job there from Katsia. Starts off with kind of taking out Quartz at range. And then the healers, I think, doing a nice job kind of keeping Vestola alive down there on the low ground.
Yeah, it's Aiden Taejong, right? Finding the kills in that fight, you know, so the DPS stepping up. Somebody has to, right? Somebody has to find that first pick. give the team a little bit of hope, get people to start believing. Pistola with an energy lead here, so let's see how TM approach the retake. A lot of ultimates ready to be deployed, and I expect both teams to really commit on this first flashpoint.
Yeah, it's going to be a Kitsune rush here from both sides. As Katsuya, they do end up with their grab first. Oh, it's a nice one there from Pistola. Connects with 3 as TBNT throws his grab in towards the end as Quartz ends up using the override protocol. I mean, that is good stuff there from Quartz. Everybody bundled up together. He gets 3, Jwoo with 2. That should be the first point to Twisted Minds.
Man, and it really comes down to like a tiny percentage gap there, right? TVNT just barely gets the grab off in time, but it's enough, right? It locks down those players, and even with those early kills, override protocol from Quartz.
Oh, this is
Aid doesn't have his online.
والله حتى مجتمعي يقولون نفس الكلام. تويستد
and then that'll actually have Surmajed going over to Diva here. So no, actually the Brig. So it's going to be a Brig Juno here backline for Katsuya. With Zarya, this should be pretty good and effective against the Diva.
I do like the Diva though, because against this override protocol, it's really hard to get that damage off. Jake was already dropped Surmajed. It is traded onto Quartz. TM, I think
oh my god.
Down that break. That being said, Pistola
يا عيال تفنت راح ديفا. تفنت راح ديفا موضوع غريب.
Tank advantage you need for Katsuya, right, to get down into a traded down fight with a high energy Zarya. And TM, I like the concept maybe to deal with some of that ult trades for the Diva, but TVNT can't quite get the fight win. Is going to go back to the mirror, and now Surmajed, I think this play actually can be a bit of a liability.
Zarya counter لكن
ما يعترف الشيء هذا. Yeah,
I mean, Surmajed's going to switch back to the Kiri, so maybe that was just a swap there from TVNT, but like that override protocol, they kind of knew he had it, didn't have grab. Maybe there's a way they kind of win that fight. I know with a Diva in the mix, Aid, Pistola, and Gala all take a pretty sizable amount of damage here early on. Is Taejong some nice damage there on the Simple. Also working with a pulse bomb here on the outside.
Yeah, Taejong putting a lot of pressure now, comes into the thick of the fight, but Pistola out of gas.
اوبا لزقها فيه والله.
Pulsar torpedoes.
بدأ القادسيه يتحسن يا اخوان. بدأ القادسيه يتحسن.
Surmajed trying to clean up here. Taejong gets it done, and maybe looking for more, but you gotta be careful, man. Quartz is an absolute shooter here on the Emery.
Oh, I mean, this is like much better from Katsuya.
بدأ القادسيه يرجع. بدأ القادسيه يرجع سلطان. بدأ القادسيه يتحسن عشان ما يزعلونه.
Kind of find that support line, takes out Simple, and then also kind of works with the rest of the team, gets rid of Quartz, as it'll be a touch here to send it into OT from Jwoo. Players coming off a spawn here for Twisted Minds, but this looks really good for Katsuya.
Nice aggression from Katsuya. They're fighting off the point, making these
لو آخر رمق.
have to touch the point, right?
هذا الموت يتوقع رايح القادسيه. نعم. 1-1.
Really great execution here on this second flashpoint, and they're able to put up a dominant win. That's a big one, right? You need some hope in a match like this, and the DPS start to deliver. Jwoo, though, ensures that any confidence is a little bit short-lived. Taejong dropping before the point fight. It's not back-breaking. He'll be back for the fight, but this does mean that Twisted Minds are going to have some advantage taking early position.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to really be able to kind of capitalize, though, on at the moment, right? You see Jwoo there in our overhead. He's going to, stuck in a really odd spot there between Taejong and Aid, so I think Jwoo's going to make it back to the rest of the team. It's going to be the override protocol here from Quartz and Aid to open things up.
Yeah, both dueling, looking for that
damage on the الطرفين. ثانية أسرع برا الفايت.
Grab is in.
تفنت لو.
Who drops TM, sustaining really well despite using the Juno Simple with that Kitsune rush.
والله خش عليه Quartz.
Not finding the opportunity to get their own support ults off, and they're going to lose first control because of it.
Dude, doesn't it feel like Katsuya could have won that fight? I mean, they started off with that pick on a funny.
يا عيال فازوا الفايت حتى هم خسرانين بيك. حتى هم عندهم 4 فازوا الفايت ما شاء الله.
Where things start to turn a little bit, and then Aid in the back line just kind of goes really deep there on the Emre. He's using the override protocols and kind of like ends up on the high ground. He's not able to find a second pick, but it feels like Katsuya, that started off the exact way they wanted it, just not able to close it out.
Yeah, not able to win the fight with their grab is a tough one, because now you have double support ult, but grouping up all those support ults into grab could be painful. Here's the grab coming in, locking down players. Jwoo with the pulse onto Aid. Simple finds another, and the Kitsune rush gets absolutely nothing done here from Katsuya. Even a little bit of a delay on Pistola, who wisely drops himself, but he's going to miss the spawn wave. And at 80%, TM are going to have deep into the spawn here, and for Katsuya, touching is going to be difficult, much less finding the fight win.
Yeah, Taejong going to be the one that tries to get a touch. Believe recall already used, so not going to really be able to get there And because that early recall, I think you just kind of, you give it up. So that's going to be TM
2-1
going to match point here on this flashpoint.
في حال فوز تويستد.
Just one more to be able to take this
تكون البوينت
map.
الأخيرة وتصير 2-0 وتصعب على القادسيه زيادة.
It looks like both teams. I was going to say no, he's going to kind of fight here from the middle. It's going to be both teams kind of taking a stance on their side of the map.
Yeah, slightly earlier position here, taken from Qadsia, winning the rotation. See how TM elect to respond to this. Both teams with that orbital ray. A lot of opportunity for Aid, though. He's got some space to work with. Needs to find some sort of a kill on the entry. Orbital ray comes out from both squads.
أوربت من الطرفين.
The damage looks to be better.
اوه يا كوارتز. كوارتز مات بدري يا عيال.
He's striking from behind. Qadsia won this fight.
The ray was used really early there by TM, Jake. Like they just kind of used it to like walk out to maybe like take some of that space back on the high ground. But the later ray and some of the damage up top from Qadsia was so much more effective, right? I think you mentioned that they kind of win the rotation. They get to that high ground first. They kind of take that top kind of like plant spot there where they're able to kind of oversee the entire point. And their TM, they're kind of forced to use that orbital ray to just kind of get out of that, just try and create some space. But Qadsia plays it quite well with that later ray.
Yeah, really nice backstab from Taejong. Jaewoo, very aware of the Tracer now. Hard
والله فايت 1v1 تريسر.
Onto Taejong. Now Aid is going to open up with the override protocol, but this one looks pretty early. Keep in mind, trying to back out from this. Happy to just get away with their lives and be engaged with ultimate advantage because they're coming up on a huge bank. Their Quartz opens up with his own override
دور
protocol
كوارتز
over the top,
يلت.
threatening the point here. TVNT steps up to start pressuring that cap. And for Qadsia, if you back out now, you will be giving up this clip, so they're going to try and force the fight here and now. Simple with the rush, though, is going to make that doubly difficult, and ultimately, the point does flip. And adding insult to injury, Quartz finds an exit kill here. Qadsia just trying to get out with the rest of their team's lives.
And I think if you were Twisted Minds there, what you're trying to do is use that override protocol, and if you can put down some damage on Vestola or find another pick, you can then have the luxury of potentially saving the Kitsune rush. But when they don't find it,
جيوا رمى البوم رمية.
Jaewoo has to be careful, use a recall, but actually they find Taejong. I mean, that's a huge pick that may actually buy them some more time on the point.
Yeah, he's doing enough, right? He's forcing two players to respond, and without the Kiriko, Vestola isn't going to be able to walk up there. So the pressure being put onto Aid. Quartz finds a quick headshot burst here from the assist of Funny Astro, and Jaewoo's not done, man. He's looking for more with the bubble. Constant pressure here. I mean, they're down on the clock, but you don't feel it on the map because Twisted Minds are battling back into this flashpoint. They want to end this map here and now, and Qadsia just getting routed right there. They look completely shook here.
Yeah, Twisted Minds has to know, though, that they have a grab available with a Kitsune rush. So it couldn't be the rush here early on. It's going to
في قراب عند دمنت في قراب عند فيستولا.
to grab towards the back line. So he gets Funny Astro, but at what cost, right? I mean, he gets grabbed, and then they kind of lose both, they lose Gala here, and Surmajed's going to fall as well. So you kind of push up, use the grab into the back line, but that allows TVNT to kind of walk on past, use his grab.
2-0 يا جماعة.
You just don't get the same value, and that's going to allow Twisted Minds to take map number 2.
لتويستد. ماذا يحدث لك يا القادسيه؟
ما
الذي يحدث لك يا القادسيه؟
You're not just battling for the flashpoint, you're battling out of your spawn. Permanent pressure. Like, as soon as Jaewoo comes, forces your carry TP to the back line, the front line is now crashing in on you. You have your opportunity to step up with rush and grab, and Twisted Minds are like fully Delta split. You use rush and grab to kill a Juno. Like that's essentially how they open that fight.
المجتمع انا غردت في المجتمع وكتبت هل تويستد فارق والقادسيه سيء؟ والله في رد قاعدين يردون تويستد فارق ما خسر ولا ماب للحين 15-0 ما شاء الله. واحد ثاني كاتب تويستد فارق والقادسيه سيء.
It's nice to be able to put up a flashpoint win, right? But honestly, you kind of look at that and you say, okay, big moments from the DPS, yes, like Aiden Taejong finding some of those key kills that they really need to make this series possibly competitive. But when you really feel like the full team of Twisted Minds coming together, that's where this feels like an overwhelming matchup, right? When they're hitting you all at once in perfect synchronicity, it just feels unwinnable.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks different. Like, I think that's kind of it's like one of the harder things to like explain, but like when you see these teams in Overwatch's history, right? You think of like CR, Falcons, you think about some of those Dallas Fuel teams, right? Like it just seems like, I mean, that's insane. That is insane flag.
Is just he is going for the crazy pulse bombs. He's been hitting too many pulse bombs.
ايش يحتاج القادسيه يا اخوان؟
Upping the difficulty for himself.
ماذا يحتاج القادسيه؟
This is like one of the, I mean, it's literally the only EMEA team in like recent times that you kind of have that feeling about, where like every fight they just play it perfectly every single time. Everybody's kind of like
ايش يحتاج
the
القادسيه؟
absolute like limit. And even these fights that like do not seem winnable or shouldn't really be winnable when you're kind of taking a look at like the ultimate economy on both sides, like probably that last fight, TM just knows the exact way they're going to end up playing it, and everybody's on the same page. And that's when you get these teams that are just, you know, juggernauts, impossible to just kind of get on by. Jake, we do have some new drops. I don't know if you've well, I mean,
you gotta link your BNet account, people.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta link your BNet account, and then you know, we gotta get these games last.
على بال ما يبدأ الماب الثالث خلينا أوريكم المجتمع. خلينا نروح المجتمع نشوف.
You got a lot of battle pass rewards here. Yo, we're going
أوريكم
double
المجتمع.
loot box here. A little 5 hour and a 15 hour, a little double
not
loot
the
box
Winton
action.
skin.
Okay.
Those we need those Winton OWCS skins. That goes kind of wild and crazy. Like full orange.
In memory of all the Winston players,
Winston will be back. Right? He's biding his time. He's biding his time.
Yeah.
He's cooking it up in the shadows. Winston will not be gone for long. That is my prediction about.
زعلانين شكله.
His bubble will need to be made out of like concrete, like indestructible.
Imagine he drops the bubble on your head and it just crushes you.
Just like that would be
wild.
wild.
A boulder on you.
I think Winston would get some play if he could jump into the air and drop his bubble, and it would just insta kill people on the smash. Yeah, you would probably see a lot of Winston play. Runasapi is the pick here for Katsia. This is another one where you're like, you know, Mongo was obviously targeted and banned by TM the last map. This is
كانت بتجي زي الجيم الماضي بس الحمد لله صح في الأخير فزنا الجيم الثاني. يقصدون تويستد.
They really feel like
نهجت معهم شوي.
on the Maga comp though. Like they, you know, with Maga, it feels like you need to have this big hit with the Maga stomp, you know, catch supports or maybe like a wayward hit scan player. TM, it's like they are so good at putting pressure on their opponents.
Okay, هذا كلام
شوي
شوي معقول.
Without great defensive utility against them, right? Like you know, we have those moments where players are just getting picked off left, right, and center. You're being hit from all sides. We're even on the cast, and we can't even really capture like all the angles. Twisted Minds' attacks.
متى يصير لي التعزيز هذا؟
I think with the Maga comp,
يجرون
that is
بثي
like
وحركات
doubly a
وجو
problem.
الناس.
You
متى
don't
يصير
really
هذا
have
التعزيز لي؟
tools to defend your allies.
قريب إن شاء الله
Maybe you
قريبا.
can seize the reins and get aggressive, but the players on TM, the individuals are
خلونا
just so
نرجع يا
good.
جماعة.
It's
نرجع
hard to
للمباراة.
imagine that catching them off making mistakes is going to be a good strategy for the win here.
الله يجيب
That's
الخير.
how I feel, but
you're not gonna catch you know, as we take a look at the band, so Curie and Vendetta.
هلا ومرحبا. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. معليش يا شباب والله. معليش ما انتبهت للشات والله. هلا ومرحبا. ويلكم حمزة ويلكم سلطان. لحد الآن 2-0 لتويستد. تويستد يضرب ولا يبالي. تويستد قوي جدا. قوي ما شاء الله ما شاء الله قوي تويستد.
It is EMEA teams and Twisted Minds in particular was very
القادسيه يعاني.
So I don't think they're going to get caught off guard here by Katsia with these bans. What does this tell you?
I mean, I think the Curie ban.
هلا ومرحبا. ويلكم يا دكتور نواف.
Like once again, you feel
هلا
like you
والله
don't want to
بخير
play
الحمد
against
لله. كيف حالك؟
Curie.
طيب.
That's way too
حياك
good
الله
for
نورت.
TM. I think
يا
they're
هلا
probably the best team
ومرحبا.
in the world at that rush style.
عندنا الماب الثالث روناسا ايش؟
So I understand.
روناسابي.
I think it
اسمه
also
صعب. روناسابي.
could go for one of
عند
those
البندات فنديتا وكيري.
on Alari styles, which
هذا آخر ماب في حال فوز تويستد. في حال فوز تويستد نودع القادسيه مع السلامة برا البطولة. والصراحة ما ودنا يصير هذا الشيء.
It's a very individualistic style, and you can, you know, see players like finding their own picks, like let Surmajad.
ما ودنا يا اخوان احد من اي احد من افريقيا السعوديه يطلع، ولكن اللي راح يتاهلون هم فقط فريقين، وأنا عندنا 3 افريقيا موجوده.
And if you make that game a chaotic, you know, 1v1 battle, I think your odds are better than when you're in like.
هل يودعنا من بدري القادسيه؟
They just don't give you any mistakes.
خبر محزن الصراحه.
We're already at match point in this series. Twisted Minds. You know, Katsia, I think in map number 2 looked much better, right? You know, map number 1 was a bit of a blowout.
خبر جدا مو حلو.
But like not like not.
Then map 1, yes. In comparison to map 1, they did look much better. I think obviously to make some, you know, significant noise in this series, it's going to have to be ramped up to another level. It'll be Katsia coming out.
Batiste, huh?
Yeah, so Vap Lucio here for TM with the Zarya in the mix. It'll be Farah with the Maga.
عند سمبل قاعد يلعب باب يا عيال.
Looks like with the backline, probably expected them to go.
باتيست غريب.
Yeah, I think they're going to be maybe a little bit surprised out of this one.
ما في كيريكو. بندوا كيريكو عشان كذا يلعب باب. عندنا سير ماجد يلعب بريك. مرة ثانية شفنا فرح. جيم ثاني يا اخوان فرح. الله على فرح.
He has to be so careful though, Taejong, right? You have the Emre, you have the Baptiste. It's going to be the immortality field there used by Simple. Trying to keep the entire team alive.
بك بس بك تويستد كويس شالوا تانك.
Vestola not able to make it out. You see Quartz there just trying to get some splash damage there.
يا كوارتز. كوارتز يا مجنون.
Man, clean kill.
شوف كيف انك تكون افضل لاعب في العالم تتوقع وين راح يروح الشخص.
They're gonna just try and retreat, regroup. But Twisted Minds just did a great job. They're constantly rotating away.
جنون. والله جنون كوارتز ما شاء الله. ما شاء الله تبارك الله.
And Vestola at some point has to go, right? Has to find this opportunity to send it in on Malga. But man, look at that pressure. Vestola down to like 100 HP after peaking for 1 second. Like this team just puts the hurt on Malga.
صحيح باب راح يكون سهل يمديك تمشي عليه في اي وقت.
Well, Vestola's in another really rough spot, and like I think that's like the issue here is like it's going to be the Ant Matrix used by Simple as well. Jay will take out Taejong. Like Vestola has to be aggressive, right? Like if Taejong puts down some damage, they're going to just stagger out 8 here.
This is brutal.
Rough. Yeah. That's going to be checkpoint. But when Vestola sees that there's a considerable amount of damage done, he needs to kind of go in. But it's almost like bait, right? Because Simple just drops the Immortality Field, and then you got the regen burst. Kind of brings everything back to a reasonable amount of HP. And then Vestola's in the middle of them with nowhere to go.
أنا صدقت إنك كان تلميذه.
Really rough situation to be in. For Katsia, they'll actually have
Laurie
come out here as well. In their back line is we get a little bit of a pause, so we'll figure out what's going on there.
I mean, that's what Maga wants to do in this comp, right? Finding the stomp on the Batiste, putting him in a corner is the dream scenario. But TVNT is just too clutch. Like finds the perfect bubble at the perfect moment, has held the resources to that point. And the Maga comp, if you don't find like that strong initiation on your stomp,
وجهة نظري أنا يا أخي موقع ما ينفع.
Again,
موقع ما ينفع ضد محترفين أو بطولات صراحة.
Override protocol out of the sky.
معليش.
Like they are showing motion, right? They are looking good as individuals, but
والله جدا موقع ما ينفع.
The pressure the TM has on you here. It's like you not just having a couple big plays. It's not going to win you the fight. You need to do everything right. Like that's the standard this team sets.
كيف المذاكرة معك يا حمزة؟ كيف الدروس؟ إن شاء الله أمورك طيبة.
The backline. TVNT goes very deep, but ends up getting punished for it. TM splitting to 4 wins here.
He tries to go past the Ray there at TVNT. It doesn't exactly work out, but hold on. Twisted Mind's not out of it just yet. TVNT's going to come off of spawn. You still have Simple here alive, but the rest of the side, oh nice, that's a nice stomp. You actually see knocks players out.
جدا جدا يا محمد خارقين جدا تويستد مرعبين.
Katsia is going to be able to get control of the bot here. I think it's still going to remain in the hands of Twisted Minds, and you're going to get players back off of spawn.
And Jay was playing a lot of attention here. And remember, this is the Katsia.
حاولوا يخلون إمري عايش عشان يتأخر بالسمون.
بس هم ماخذين البوينت. But knows he's not going to be able to find this kill.
And
this is exactly where Jay wants to find himself in this matchup, ready to harass the backline, ready to put some pressure down.
صحيح الكلام ده سلطان؟
Draw some attention away from his.
صحيح توني أدري أنا.
Big grab here, finds the Juno, instant double kill on the fight, and Katsia, are they going to go for this? Taejong does find the kill.
سمبل برا الفايت والله.
The bot being stolen away here, man.
Yeah, I mean, Taejong's so
سير ماجد راح يلعب بالياري شخصيته. شخصية سير ماجد.
So they're not able to deal with him just yet.
She's got to be going off the map here, right? She's in a terrible spot. Oh no. The boot.
البراج ما استفاد منه أي شيء.
I will say he's probably going to swap.
والله القادسيه.
Rough here. He probably really wants to go, I would guess, Tracer in this matchup. So maybe, why not take a chance with the barrage, put some chaos into the match.
Yeah, I
mean, not going to slow things down.
Yeah, if you're going to swap, you use the barrage there. Maybe he gets lucky, takes that Astro, but...
شوف كورت يجيب لك بك من حيث لا تعلم. كذا يقلب فايت على طول.
It's going to be the override protocol used here as some really nice angles that Quartz is able to find.
He's just putting that work in. Big damage even on the Tracer Taejong. God, that's just...
صحيح بس لازم يكون الجيم بوش.
And now Simple with
معلومة جديدة بالنسبة لي.
They're going to peek aggro into the spawn here. The walk up. This is one of the weaknesses of Maga. Can't
تونا
really
ندري
do much
عنها
about this kind of a play.
وندو
like a sack of rocks. That's probably gonna be the only kill they find.
شفت
off the
ساعة
wall,
ويلي؟
but the card is just full
لا والله
rolling
بس شفت
this whole
مقتطفات
time.
منها يعني.
Well, you also have just beat, right? So, like, you know, now you're gonna Vestol's gonna fall to a pole
مقتطفات
spawn. You're gonna lose
جدا.
Gala as I think players just kind of like, you know, staggering and just kind of running out of the spawn here for Katsia, just trying to gain. Because like you're just gonna get bullied back to this point, and like what? You know, Astro's gonna beat. You're gonna basically. I mean, well, you have Captive Sun and Cage Fight, so maybe there's a chance here, but still, you're getting pushed all the way back to the spawn door.
اللي موجودين في البث يا اخوان قبل نهاية الجيم لا تنسون تحطون لايك اذا عجبك البث، وباذن الله راح نتابع جيكاي وفيرتس بعد المباراة هذه. جيكاي فريق سعودي بعد وان شاء الله انه يتأهل باذن الله. فاذا عجبك البث لا تنسى تحط لايك. اللايك ترى ما يخسرك اي شيء، يفيدني انا مرة كثير.
Katsia might have won this fight in terms of the bot control, but Twisted Minds is absolutely battling here with the 2 DPS and support.
يا عيال كوارتز مو طبيعي ما شاء الله تبارك الله ما شاء
Yeah, I
الله.
mean, it's a really difficult situation because, like, you know, Vestola gets by. He just kind of needs to create space between the bot and the spawn door, but the rest of the team was just kind of getting cut off from that position. So now Vestola back with the rest of the squad.
ايش يقول ايش صار في ساعة ويلي يا محمد؟ عطنا.
Approaching the Katsia
ايش صار؟
spawn is, you know, we are below 4 minutes. We're getting below 4 minutes here. So about half of the game gone. Is Vestola dangerously low, has to back on up, doesn't want to burn that cardiac overdrive just yet.
Speedring comes out, but they're all
Grab
in the graviton surge here. Majed dies before the pulse bomb can even stick to him. But
تبن سو حط فك الجراب وراح مات.
Without much of an escape zone in this spot, towards override protocol over the top, trying to find some kind of an exit kill. Getting out with his life might be the best he can do, but Aid does find that cleanup. Still, it's not a clean one. Jaywu and Funny Astro combining to ensure Katsia. They might win the fight, but they're not going to get a lick of objective progress off of it, Matt.
Well, they can never really seem to get like a clean fight, right? Like, okay, they'll win, you know, they'll get 3 players down on TM, and they'll end up losing like 3 or 4 players towards the end to like, you know, Jaywu and Astro, and like, you know, just kind of like there's some kills maybe a little bit earlier, so they're never really able to kind of get progress because
اخر 3 دقائق القادسيه.
spawns. They've been holding them basically the entire game.
Some big damage coming in though.
يوبي كان يتكلم عن عقليته وعن الاستمرارية. والله سوالف كثير لازم تشوف. يتكلم عن عقلية كورتس ولا عن عقليته هو بنفسه يوبي؟ لأن عقلية يوبي مختلفة جدا. عقلية بطل.
Gala delaying himself here on the side, but the bot is far away. It's snowballing through the checkpoint. Forward spawns relocked in for Twisted Minds. They're playing with the house cards. They've gotten the bot like deep into the enemy spawn. And it's up to Katsia, like you said, to win a clean fight. I think for the first time in a long time, they're able to reapproach mid, but look at this. Oh, this is going to devastate them. Sick backflank from TM. It does get scouted, though. Good read by Taejong.
Yeah, they do kind of call it out, so having an opportunity here.
Okay, beat.
From Funny Astro actually connects
ومسح على
4 out of the 5 members of Twisted Minds. Quartz does not get the benefit of it, but Quartz is just
يتكلم عن نفسه. اي شفت حتى الناس يتكلمون يا محمد عنه.
It looks like Jaywu actually when
عقلية يوبي ما يختلف عليها
he
اثنين.
actually goes back to the rest of the team, gets
عقلية بطل.
and like kind of fights from the front, and then Quartz actually just re-wraps and ends up coming up with 3 in the fight.
Yeah, Quartz taking that position is like absolutely illegal. He's like in your defender high ground. And once again, Katsia, unenviable task. They got to step up to the plate here and find some kind of an entry. TM fully drained in the opening, so you got to watch out for something like a cage fight.
Okay, Gage.
Solo cage fight though does catch TVNT. Ideal if you can drop the
والله الجيج انكسر بسرعة.
Keeps him up simple. Doing odds to keep TVNT in it. Ultimately, pressure of the rally is just too much. And Katsia finally have found a clean fight. Gala on.
حتى المعلق يقولها أخيرا يا القادسية.
You will take whatever you can get as Katsia as.
ممكن اختيار بريك لسير ماجد افضل من اللياري صراحه. تلعب في الماب هذا بريك افضل من اللياري. شوفوا تويستد وين وصل لل 132 متر. قادسية توهم 8.
That's how they end up kind of winning that by Quartz with the override protocol here, putting down some serious damage. Vestola's in a rough spot here, Jake.
Taejong though, pulse bomb double kill on supports actually makes this fight somewhat winnable. Gala might need the Ray to do it though, and isn't
مجنون والله كوارتز مجنون ما شاء الله.
Doesn't see the vision here with Quartz, Jaywu, and TVNT still firing at full strength. The burn, oh my, it's kind of close on Quartz, but he does live.
But you also see how long Quartz is actually able to keep going with the pistol with the direct hits. It feels like he had the pistol out there.
That's for this matchup
for like
against
10
Naga
seconds.
is brutal for Mago once you have that upgraded pistol. Like, it's almost impossible to kill a Memre who's like jumping around over your head, spam pistol in your face, life stealing you. It is a rough spot to be in. Gala got to be careful here with this orbital ray. They need a defensive tool to deal with the grab.
Might end up getting beat here as well for Twisted Minds. As looks like the Stola goes on in. It's gonna be the immortality field end up used there. Oh, looks like they were actually trying to catch Gala up in the sky with the orbital ray there with the grab. Not able to catch him, but they do get rid of Taejong. So looks like though it'll be a Katsia fight win here, Jake. This is gonna be very
الحين لازم قادسيه يفوزون كل الفايتات ولا جي جي لأن اوفر تايم.
waiting on the other side.
It's just crazy deja vu, right? You just can't get those clean fight wins for Katsia. TM are going to be back at full strength over and over again. And I love this Diva swap because really in overtime in this kind of position, all you need to do is find trades. You don't really need to win the fight for TM. But a beat rush Diva here is going to be scary. TMT already into the back line. Already
راح ديفا.
Aid here. Popped to override protocol though. That vertical mobility going to put him in a good spot. Cage as well. Finds Simple on the exit. So maybe an overcook here, but Quartz takes down Quartz. When the brig falls, a lot of room here for Jwoo and TBNT to work. Taejong low
لازم تمشي مع الروبوت الحين. مشكلة.
Public enemy number one here. The pulse bomb.
اوه يا كوارتز.
Recalled out there, but Quartz does find enough of a damage to find this kill. And yeah, the trades come in, but like we were saying, in overtime, it's just not good enough. Twisted Minds should be closing this one out in style.
موقع الحالة. موقع الحالة. موقع الحالة. جي 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 جي. والله جي جي. ألف مبروك والله ألف مبروك القادسيه تويستد. أرضك القادسيه أقسم بالله بقد ما إني فرحان على فوز تويستد بقد ما إني زعلان على مستوى القادسيه.
Unbeatable here in EMEA, regardless of what Katsia was throwing at them.
It's rare to see like a level difference like this in competitive Overwatch, right? Like you think about of all the teams in the last couple of years, who has been able to dominate their opponents quite like this, right? Like there's been teams who we've thought of as number one in the region where we know, okay, like they're probably going to win, they're favored in all these matchups, but it's rare that that like anything other than a 3-0 would be a shock, right? Like for this team, like winning a map against them would be a shock. It's not only that no one has done it, no one has really gotten close. I mean, at no point in really any of these maps are TM worried about the possibility of genuinely dropping a map in the series.
I mean, it's like it's interesting, right? Because typically where we would have the best team in the world in like a region per se, like, you know, a lot of the times, at least in like Overwatch's recent history, the second best team in the world is in that region as well, right? Where this, it's like, you know, the best team in the world at the moment is here.
ما أدري أفرح ولا أزعل تلخبط مشاعر يعني. وكذا تويستد فاز فرحانين. بس فاز القادسيه خسر طلع برا زعلانين ما عاد ندري الصراحة. العقل ما شوي.
Kind of like, you know, pick a number out of thin air, but it seems like there's never really been a gap between like, okay, this region
حس تويستد جزء من البطولة. الكل يقول نفس الكلام يا حمزة.
So yeah, I'm struggling to cope, but
طبعا البطولة هذه لا في اثنين يتأهلون. هذه البطولة تأهلك الميجر القوي الكبير اللي العالم قبلهم بعض هناك. طيب يتأهلون اثنين. ابلعوا ميوت شوي انتوا يا. يتأهلون فريقين فاحنا كان ودنا يعني ان شاء الله انهم اثنينهم سعوديين باذن الله. تويستد قادسيه طلع خلاص باقي عندنا تويستد وباقي عندنا جيكاي ان شاء الله اثنينهم يتأهلون يا رب. معلش واضح انك تشجع تويستد. لا يا سلطان لا والله. اذا جو اثنين يا سلطان ضد بعض اثنينهم سعوديين مستحيل اشجع واحد على واحد. اللي يفوز نقول له مبروك وارد لك اللي خسر. بس اذا كان فريق مثلا تويستد ضد فريق ما هو سعودي اكيد بشجع تويستد. فالكون طلع فالكون في بطولة ثانية. فالكون في آسيا يلعبون ما يلعبون هنا وفي أوروبا يلعبون في آسيا. شوفوا الوشوم الله أنا أشوف إيش يقول فاني أسترو.
We just stomp them. The scrims are definitely a lot closer than this, and we, of course, need to prepare for Japan if we qualify.
Yeah, obviously, I know working towards Japan and qualifying for that, I have a feling you guys will be there. When you look forward towards that event, right? obviously we have like a new season coming, balance patch. Are there any heroes that you think, like we've seen some Maga as of late, that you think potentially could be on the rise that you guys are going to have to work on moving forward?
I don't think there's anything that we really think is OP that might need working on. Maybe there's like some glimpse of hope for Hazard. I think he looks slightly better than people are giving him credit for, but other than that, I don't think there's any sort of hidden heroes. Maybe the Mauga is a bit overrated right now.
Yeah, so for you guys, like obviously you haven't yet qualified, but given the 15-0 map record in this stage, it's got to be
إنه يقول
about going to Japan, competing
فريقنا
against some of the
جيد
other regions.
ورائع بودكاست العالم قريب يا حمزة. قريب أقرب من أي وقت، قريب جدا.
In NA as well. I'm curious if you're watching any of the global matches and if there's any teams that maybe you guys are looking at as someone interesting that maybe with strategies that you think have potential, or just a team that you think could maybe surprise people in Japan.
I think Zeta, obviously, that team is like, they're so flexible and they're so creative with their strats that they're going to be really interesting to play against. Super looking forward to that matchup. But there's no NA team that I really want to play other than Disguise, but unfortunately they didn't make it, so there's not much else that I'm looking forward to.
I saw
اوكي المذيع سأله قال له هل عندكم مفاجآت؟ هل راح تسوون شو إذا تأهلتوا لميجر اليابان؟ أو تبغى تلعب مع فريق ثاني مثلا أو شيء؟ قال لا ما ابغى العب الا مع الفريق هذول وهذول اخوياي، وان شاء الله انه يقول يأدي كويس يعني. ما قال ان شاء الله، انا جبت هبتها من عندي يعني. الحين هذول وش وظيفتهم؟ هذول معلقين محللين على المباريات اللي قاعد تصير. هذول مدفوع لهم عشان يسوون هذه الاشياء يا سلطان. ان شاء الله الله يرزقنا ان شاء الله يا رب يا كريم. شوف التشكيله عندنا تويستد على طول تأهل. اوه في لور حلو يعني يمديهم يعوضون القادسيه. الحمد لله كويس الحمد لله يمديهم يعوضون يعني. اوكي تحسهم يلعبون اوفر جدا. هذول يشربون شرب اوفر ولا ما صاروا محللين ومعلقين عبث. هذول يشربونها شرب يا سلطان. عندنا المباراة الجاية او المباراة الحين اللي راح تصير ما بين فيرتس وجيكاي، فان شاء الله نقول يا رب جيكاي، يا رب جيكاي يسوونها، يا رب جيكاي.
Wouldn't be shocked to see maybe both the teams qualifying out of EMEA making a deep run in Japan. So a lot of stakes on this.
قايق القادسيه تويستد وجيكاي توفيق التوفيق لعيالنا. اشمئز من الوشم والله، مقزز الشكل، لكن عاد هذول وش نسوي؟ ما يمدينا نسوي شيء يعني. الصدمة انه في بعض الناس يشوفونها حلو يا سلطان، بعض الناس يشوفون هذا الشيء واو حلو. اخلص اعطونا جيكاي، اعطونا الفريق البطل، اعطونا الابداح، اعطونا زياد وهاكو. Let's go.
Start your climb to OWCS with Faceit League. Compete for $50,000 every season to sustain your team's competitive journey. Progress through skill balance divisions until you hit the Master Finals broadcast and get scouted by the best teams. Your climb to OWCS starts here. Join at fce.gg/Faceit League.
ايه اعلاناتكم ذي. يحطوه بدون سبب مقنع بس فلسفة. قسم بالله احاول ما اشوف الشاشة عشان الوشم. ايش نسوي؟ الشكوى لله يا سلطان يا حمزة. الواشم في الدنيا ملعون من ربي، ملعون. طيب دقايق، دثايق، وش دثايق؟ في شخصية بينزلونها قريب، صحيح اعلنوا عنها، اسمها اسم سيارة، اسمها سيارة، جاي من طرف اخوك. حياك الله يا مرحبا، اهلا وسهلا، نورني يا حبيبي. بس ممكن افهم ليش حط عندك في الوصف يعني كلمة ما هي حلوة؟ اسمها سيارة الشخصية، اسمها اسم سيارة، والواضح لي من الجيم بلاي حقها انها مرة قوية، جدا قوية. اللي واضح لي انه كوارتز لو احترف الشخصية هذه ما حد راح يوقفه ابدا الا الله، ما شاء الله تبارك الله. خلونا يا جماعة نشوف. لحظة. ثواني ثواني. شوف ماذا يحدث. في شخصيات كثير يا سلطان ترى غير الشخصية هذه اللي اعلنوا عنها، في شخصيات مرة كثير. اي شخصية بتنزل بتكون او بي الا لايف ويفر، الشخصية الوحيدة جاها بف بعد ما نزلت لك الشخصية الثانية. لانه ايش؟ لانه ملون، لانه وسخ فقط. عندنا فيرس جيكاي، يا رب يفعلونها جيكاي يا رب يا كريم. بروح وبجي. اوكي يا سلطان خذ راحتك يا حبيبي، خذ راحتك. ليش الشات؟ ثواني ما اقدر اشوف الشات دقائق، بس ابغى اسوي شيء وارجع للشات. اوكي يلا يلا تسولفون واجد، انتوا تسولفون واجد يا حبيبي انتوا وياه. اخلصوا اعطونا المباراة.
Different times now, and they're looking good.
Yeah, Ice Gnome doesn't have to play Symmetra on Circuit Royal. I mean, that's something we saw at times last year. So I think this team obviously feels way more comfortable than they did.
Eisner was good on the sim, all right? I'm gonna say that. He was not bad on the sim. It's just that when you're doing that, you are so desperate, right? Like it's a sign of deep issues when you're gonna swap your tank.
Whenever the tank or support moves, like we have like the Ryu J Kong, we've had the Taimu Winston, and you don't want to.
Although
it's never a good sign.
I hear that, but I Violet Cassidy. How about
Okay,
that?
that was kind of lit.
That's a counter example. That was kind of lit.
Every once in a while, it works out for the teams. Mostly, it does not, though. Speaking of things that work out or didn't work out, Geekay, they did get 3-1. Is that a word? Is that a sentence?
Yeah, sure.
They lost 3-1 to Virtus Pro just literally a week ago. We did see some like bright spots, though, some hope. Havana, for example, looked really, really good for Geekay. What do we want to see from them today?
From my perspective, Matt, it's going to be on the support line. For Haku and Finn, I think for them to have a huge game, a huge series is going to be crucial. I really think لعبه Althea Ziad, you look at that.
يسولفون كثير جدا جدا يا حمزة. قرقر 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 ما يوقفون. لازم كذا الصراحة يعني.
There's going to be massive pressure though on the back line to show that they're in that mix. There have been questions, right, about Finn, about his success, honestly, at the highest.
يتكلمون عن لابدا. ضحكون لما ينطقون اسم لابدا. لابدا.
Prove to people rather that he is one of those top tier supports. And similar story for Haku, like some good moments here and there, but they need to have like a solid game on the back line, clean oldies, great tracking, no mistakes if they want to win this.
Well, again, if we expect things to kind of go as they have gone, right? You would probably need to beat this team again, whoever wins this year, right? Like, most likely you think you would probably favor either of these teams over, Katsuya. And then obviously whoever wins this, has a chance against Twisted Minds, but most likely it kind of goes the way that things have gone when teams go against Twisted Minds as of late. So like, this is a match that we may see again for qualification, right? So like, important here to maybe kind of get the better of the team, get a download on how they want to play, and then really come back to that second match.
Yeah, I mean, again, just a reminder to everyone, better chances against Twisted Minds in the final. Not a single team in this region.
اقسم بالله انك تكون صانع محتوى او انك تبث وتلعب وعندك شاشه واحده فقط، انه اكثر شيء مزعج في الحياه ورب الكعبه. الشاشه حقتي واحده قاسمها 3 اقسام، هنا المباراه اللي اشوفها وابثها، وهنا الشات، وهنا منصه اكس عشان اروح اشوف ايش السالفه في الموضوع متعب.
I do feel though it's going to be a closer match. I'm smelling like a 3-2.
Ooh, okay.
You're asking for scores? Yeah.
I think it's going to be VP. I think it's like a 3-0, 3-1. I've had concerns about the Geekay backline.
والله موضوع متعب.
Obviously, maybe you get this matchup again and you only got to beat him once, right? So, I think VP takes this.
Yeah, I got to give this one to VP. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think the support lineup is going to be the big advantage that does this for VP. But a lot comes down to these match day moments, like from what Funny Aster was saying, right? That's a huge factor. You can look like a good team in scrims, you can have the right strats, but if your players can't show up on match day and take it to 11, you're not a team.
والله متعب يا حمزه والله.
On an international level, you might not even qualify to get there. So for VP, this is the moment where push comes to shove. Yes, you look very good in the regular season, but how do you do with real stakes on the line here in playoffs?
Indeed, it is a double elimination bracket, so each team will be having a second live as well.
لا المشكله ان انا يعني انا تعرف رجل الكهف اللي ما يعرف اي حاجه في التقنيه، هذا انا جدا والله العظيم. بسم الله وعلى بركه الله. ها خلونا نشوف الماب ايش راح يختارون، ايش راح يختارون الماب عشان يعني نكون واضحين من البدايه. فيرتس يعني نقدر نقول افضل من جيكاي بشوي يعني، بس باذن الله يفعلونها جيكاي باذن الله. يفعلونها عيالنا باذن الله، يفعلونها ويشقونهم شق.
They're maybe not going to be as aggressive as something like we see out of Twisted Minds, but man, like you just do not want to be in a spot where you're trying to gank and punish those supports. Like Fixa and Landon are going to be a brick wall in the back line. VP banned the Kiriko to open things up, but GK respond with the Maga. And remember, VP was kind of the team to bring Maga to the forefront in the first place. So if there's anybody who could bring it into the meta, it'll probably be them.
كلها فترة وتحترف وتصير غني. يا عنزة. هذا موضوع الاحتراف تناقشنا فيه من زمان، خليني انا هنا على السيت اب بالاحتراف بلا كذب يا رجال. طيب عندنا الماب الاول اوسس، باندات كيريكو وماوغا. باندات غريبة بعض الشيء. الفاي ولبدح وزياد وهاكو وفاين فين الله ما ادري ايش اسمك. يلا يا رب يا كريم، يا رب يا كريم. ادعسوا كويستر يا عيال، ادعسوه.
It's going to come down to who can perform on match day. Kevster versus Labda could be a bit of an explosive matchup here on the Emerald.
بسم الله. لابدا عندنا ايمري وزياد زاريا حلو، وهاكو جونو حلو. اشوف ستريمر صاعد لازم تسوي حركات غبيه عشان تصير مشهور كليبات. لا مو بجوي هذا، مو بجوي يا حمزه. اقدر اليوم انشر قبل بكره، اصير بس قليل الحياه وانشر على طول، بس ما ابغى كذا انا. انا عندي اهلي يتابعوني، عندي اخوياي، عندي جماعتي. لا ما يصير. تقدر تنشر بسرعه، تصير قليل الحياه تنشر على طول. حلو جيكاي خذوا البوينت من البدايه، حلو داخلين بقوه. حلو. لا حلوه يا زياد، اي حلوه. يا عمري يا شيخ، يا عمري يا هاكو. زار الحالة ذبحوا الحالة. نايس. اعرف والله بس ما بيك تصير مثلهم يعني. اوكي انا حمزه ترى انا لي كم قريب 3 سنوات الحين انا في اليوتيوب والسوشيال ميديا وذا. اعرف كيف انه لما تصير قليل الحياه تنشر بسرعه، واقدر اسويها بس ما ابغى. ولا كانت تختصر علي السنين هذه كلها، اقدر اصير قليل الحياه وانشر على طول بس ما ابغى. وانا عندي قلت لك عندي اهلي يتابعوني، يتابعون مقاطعي، اذا ما اقدر عندي اللي يقربون لي ما اقدر. اذا الشهره والفلوس والغنى بيجي على قله حيله والله انه غير مرحب عندي الصراحه. الله لا يحيي اذا الغنى بيصير كذا. لحد الان اوكي صح انه خذ البوينت، بس لحد الان جيكاي قاعد يبدع يعني. ذكرني ارفع الصوت عشان تسمعون كويس.
Ultimates, the fact that it comes in this delay between fights mean VP likely going to be able to bridge those gaps.
chaos. Looks like GK though here, Jake. They'll have every ultimate to work with coming in, right? You can kind of conserve.
يا حبيبي يا حبيبي يا
Right?
حمزة.
You can just kind of end this here as going to be the orbital ray for both sides, but Landon ends up falling. The hands of Haku there, so you have to use orbital ray and your override protocol here from
عمري يا شيخ عمري يا لبجح.
but that's going to be enough.
إيه والله عيالنا
to
كفو يا
fight
عيالنا
quickly, and
شوفوهم
that's going to allow
تكفون.
you to have the rally, the grab pulse bomb here for the next fight. GK in a very good spot to potentially take this first round.
Yeah, it's huge that you get that done with a minimal
آخر
investment.
فايت.
Oh,
زياد عنده
going to
قراب.
go very aggro.
ما يدرون عنا ما يدرون عنا إلا والله يدري عنا.
Second corner as well, so sees the
حلو
play.
يا زياد.
Very deep grab. It does still
يا عمري يا زياد.
Fighting this close to the spawn is a risky bet though for GK Fid. Caught,
لا.
stunned, low. Rally
لك البيت
battle,
بس
one
مدينة.
fight,
حلو يا زياد.
The trades continue to come. GK getting up numbers in the fight. They do lose the point flip in the chaos, so good moves by Psycho to kind of staunch the bleeding, and I think he will be able to get an overtime touch here. Icedom over to the hazard. Feels like he's got to push the pace.
Yes, Psycho actually goes around and
آخر
goes to
فايت
actually
آخر
flip the
فايت.
point. Alfie was there just kind of tracking him and then decided to go in and finish
هذا
the player
hazard.
off and then double back. It'll be OT here. Pulse bomb for Alfie. That could go crazy.
Yeah, stick here. Would be backbreaking. No more Zarya bubbles to play with. You got to just dodge this on your own terms.
لا زياد راح برا
Doesn't
الفايت.
find the timing to get in. Throws a pulse bomb, but goes wide. And Icedom, signature hazard here. You know, for a lot of players, I think you would go to this pick and not feel so great about it. But for Icedom, I think this is exactly where he wants to find himself. And GK, the entire bank is dry.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking for a
بوز
retake and
ايش في ايش في ايش في
50% of your worth
إيش
of
المشكلة؟
control time to work with. But
Well,
whether you get another ultimate in this round is not a sure bet here.
I was going to say that. I think that's kind of the benefit here for VP. As when you look at like kind of the ultimate economy of GK, there's a real chance that they don't get anything coming up for the rest of the round. They're in a really rough spot. So this next fight, I believe Psycho does have a pulse bomb. So if you're able to win it off of that, you know, they're really not going to be able to build up towards any more ultimates for the rest of the game. So you'd be in a great spot if you're VP to close out a very competitive back and forth round one.
Yeah, and you know, for both of these teams though, I think this is a bit of a wake-up call for VP. Like he might have put up a 3-1 dominant scoreline, but you know, Labda and Alpha
أنت وش وظيفتك
found some very strong
بالجيم يعني
aggressive fights
هيلر
in this
ولا ذلك؟
easy
اوكي
showing, like,
قصدك وش الرول
give
اللي
them an
انا العبه؟
opportunity, they will
والله العب
absolutely run
بالكل
you
الكل
over.
بس
So,
استمتع اذا
when
لعبت
it comes to that
سبورت هيلر
frontline
يعني.
battle, I feel like I'm leaning
ممتع.
GK right now. I mean,
تنقل
obviously
تيم
way too
وكذا.
early in the series to make any kind of a resolution or a call, but certainly gonna, you know, make you think as Virtus Pro, right? You know, you might have thought, hey, we put up such a good showing in the regular season. This one should be just a repeat of that history. They're gonna have to earn it here to close out our first round of control.
Yes, we jump right back in the game. It'll be Ziad, who can now go over to the Diva, feel a little bit more free on this pick now that it is Hazard on the other side as Psycho lurking with that pulse. Oh, I mean, Finn right there.
رجعنا.
Needs to
الحمد
be able
لله.
to stay alive. Cannot have anybody fall to the pulse bomb here of Psycho.
لا
Pulse on the
حلوة
shield,
حلوة
great
انها
block
بالشيل
there
حلوة.
by Finn, keeps the team in the fight.
They're gonna get
GK are
high.
gonna play this one slow and
حلو
steady.
إنها
They're gonna
بالشيل.
play for that single fight.
يلا يا اخوان فايت واحد بس فايت واحد نفوز فيه خلاص.
Both teams now looking for a mistake, looking for an opponent to poke out and take that trade against. Eisnam caught in the corner here, taking a lot of pressure. Has to back out. A big nade though from Kepster. Gonna mitigate some of that aggressive potential.
Override protocol
Fight
here from
واحد بس.
both teams gonna be coming up, Jake, as well.
Landon's down. Ziad.
ايوه يا لبدح لا ايوه حلو 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 حلوة. حلوة. فزناها فزناها.
The first override protocol.
فزناها 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 الحمد لله.
Kepster responds in time, but without supports, this one feels almost impossible here. For
فزناها
VP.
الحمد
It's gonna be
لله.
some desperation retouches here to keep this contest rolling. You find a couple with the hazard ult, but ultimately without
الحمد لله الحمد لله
supports,
فزناها.
there's just not much of a fight
ايزي
to be had.
ايزي ايزي اي يا جي كي
downboard
تكفون
connects
برد
the
الخاطر
two,
كذا.
but Ziad just kind of getting into the back line, causing issues, finds Landon, and that is really what turns the tide. I mean, Landon was going to be close at orbital ray there as well. So Ziad going over to the Diva that we know is his best tank, and able to take that first round. Looks like maybe another pause here as we get into this second round, but great start from GK.
Yeah, I mean, you put up a round win. I do think, though, this portends a very close series, right?
والله
This
مستوى
one
حلو
about
والله
as close as
مستوى
it gets.
جيد جدا.
You know, it's really
JK.
nice that you find that pick onto Landon, but like 2 or 3 more seconds, and you've got support ults coming into this one, and I think it's going to become a lot more chaotic than that. So Labda, though, absolutely earning his keep on this team, right? I mean, I think that is going to be a key point for the series.
Yeah.
Labda almost needs
وش
to
يعني
hit
C9
gap. Like, we kind of need to
إيه
see
سالفتها
that be a
طويلة يا
dominant
حمزة.
point for the
C9
squad.
هذا اسم
I remember
فريق.
even hearing from some of the TM players, like, Labda was,
الفريق هذا كل ما صار فيه اوفر تايم يسحب على البوينت ويخليها ويخسرون، فسميت الحركة هذه باسم فريقهم.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. We're just gonna decide it. It's over. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. We're gonna get another round. We're getting another round. It's no, I was like, that's Jake. He's actually just deciding. Geekay. Yep. Call it there.
They put it on me.
Yeah, they double down. They take that first. No, they don't take the first round. We still have more rounds to play
here.
here.
They're up 1-0.
Yeah, they gotta earn it.
In the map, so they gotta earn one more round to do it. 2 chances. On the play. I wonder if the comps don't go more in that dive direction for these next 2 points, right? When you think about the points we're looking at.
Yes, it does feel like if Ice plays the Hazard, and that just opens up Ziad to play the Diva, that is like probably pretty awesome for Geekay. Like they would love to have Ziad play the Diva.
وش أقوى ريجن بأوفر؟
You know, if Ziad's on Diva and then Labda's winning
يعني
the hits
في ناس يعني
pretty consistently.
كل شخص له رأي.
Recipe for bad news for VP.
يا حمزة. كل شخص عنده شيء.
It's going to be interesting. I mean,
أنت
I also
وش
think
بالنسبة لك
there's
إيش؟
the opportunity
وش أفضل وش أقوى
some
ريجن؟
more of a rush style for VP, but you know, we'll have to see like where they end up going. I feel like Oasis is an interesting control pick. I feel like when you take it to Oasis, you kind of want comp diversity. If you just wanted to play a rush mirror, you know, you'd probably take us to Lijiang Tower and feel pretty good about yourself. But I think for VP, they almost want to play that game of, you know, beating on the swap tempo. Although with Kiri and Maga banned, it's a little bit harder to do that. What it's not hard to do though is link your BNet, guys. We get drops here. You get that. You get.
That's
skins.
why we paused it. We paused it for you guys to just get more time out of this
start
game.
the game.
Yeah, no, we paused it here so you can see all of the drops. You can earn the drops. You know, little Winton skin, little double loot box action. Those battle pass, you know, skips come up pretty clutch towards the end of the season if you've kind of, know maybe been a little bit busy and not able to get all the rewards. We also paused it. We're gonna let you guys know you all have to like and follow and subscribe to the Overwatch esports channels across all.
أبي رأيك.
Like, subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Please leave a comment.
Yeah, what Jake just said, and then I know that once we hit 100 more subs, we'll start the game up. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna start the game.
أنا أشوف إنه بشكل عام
make sure you're
حمزة
following for all the Overwatch.
الكوريين هم أفضل ناس
If you
يعني.
were following, you would
في
have known
اللعبة.
we had those drops. So you would have already been
أفضل
here,
شيء
right?
يعني.
You're not having to like run and tell your
أو أقوى
friends
ناس في
like
اللعبة.
you were missing out on all these drops. And all
على
that stuff.
يعني على عددهم
So make
الكثير.
sure, you tell everybody
مش
to
أقوى
follow us on,
الأفرقة،
all channels.
أقوى أشخاص في اللعبة.
Yeah, so you know, from behind the scenes,
حتى
seems like
أكثر
we're getting
الأفرقة
some player
تشوفها كثير
restarts here
فيها
just
كوريين.
to get themselves set up with some audio and ping issues in that last round. So hopefully we can nip all that in the bud here and set ourselves up for a good, clean series. Lot to play for in this one, Matt. I mean, you don't. I mean, although the prize for winning is you get to play Twisted Minds. So in a way,
that is true. Yeah, you were so
ثانية
awesome
بس
in
ثانية.
this game. You get to go, you know, run into a buzzsaw, you know, with Twisted Minds. But it sounds like we are getting back into game. I was gonna say the chat is going crazy over the curls today. Your curls are on point. I mean, they're flowing out the sides. I mean, yup. I don't know. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know.
Matt, you're too old, bro.
Yeah, I'm too old, bro. Yeah.
يطقطقون على اللي أعمارهم كبيرة. وش قصدهم
I am
هذول؟
young at heart. I am young at
وش
heart.
قصدهم؟
That's true, but I am old in terms of physical being.
All right, Haku deathless in that last round. Alpha E and Finn, I'm not gonna look at those stats.
فالكون
Deathless
لو
as
بيلعب
well.
ضد فالكونز مين بيفوز بالنسبة لك؟ إيش حمزة تبي تلحس مخك؟ يقول يا بلحس مخك عادي. اعترف.
Going crazy. It seems like okay, all our issues are kind of resolved there with potentially Finn and Alpha E. So get back in the game. Okay, dude, I think this is like
Bismillah.
these comps are like kind of good for Geekay. It feels like for me, like you know, being able to come in here. The alarm.
عندنا الماب الثاني بان كيري وبان
They're
موقع.
gonna give up that high ground and kind
Okay.
of play from the low with this Zarya.
نوعا
But
ما
ISO gotta
غريبة.
be so careful kind of playing into Ziad.
موقع يا جماعة باللزوم موقع كثير في البطولة هذه. إيش
Run his
السالفة؟
neck into that Zarya beam.
I will say this GK comp, very little mobility. They need to find some sort of a pickoff because if it becomes a mobility battle, Virtus Pro has you gapped in a huge way. Finn's going to put some pressure down, but right, that off ankle is going to be vulnerable to D.Va and Tracer, who look for attacks. Oh, who's vulnerable? It's actually the D.Va already dropped out of the suit. As I speak, the fight's basically over. I mean, you still have 5 players online, but without that D.Va mech, it's going to be tough. D.Va ends up dropping as well. Kevster finds a kill back onto Finn, scrapping into this one, but Ziad's starting to get energized and starting to clean house here. Continue to put pressure here on the checkpoint. Bubble on the support to stabilize things for the moment, and that's all the time they need.
خش عليه زياد.
He's not burned out of that suit so quick though.
خش عليه زياد لا يروح.
Like stand there and duel with the Zarya, really for like any tank almost, right? Especially the D.Va. So like, you know, high ground control for VP early on. They're not really able to find anything in terms of like, you know, a pick with a hit scan or something along those lines. That kind of forces Ice Gnome.
توقعت نهائيات وبطوله كذا بيكون فيه مشاهدات كثير وناس بس للاسف مشاهداتها ضعيفه جدا.
Not able to stand toe to toe with them.
الله يجيب الخير ان شاء الله. الله يجيب الخير.
Looking on the retake here and Finn over to the brig. Like this comp choice, gives you a lot more of that defensive point holding power. Putting some pressure on the point with the D.Va though might force Ziad to drop. He's resisting that for now. It keeps holding the high ground, creating a really powerful position for Labda to play from here in the early part of the fight. Jikay just refusing to drop up this high ground, leaving Alfie alone on the point, holding it down for now. The cycle eventually
حاليا تويستد جدا تويستد راح يفوز.
No connection from that, and Alfie actually dies.
عايش تويستد فارق قوي مرة قوي، بس لو تقول لي قبل مثلا سنتين بقول لك لا فارق صراحة. الحين تويستد.
Oh, the Eaton grab snatched away. Eisnom saves the day on that one. I mean, honestly, with 2 supports and if that Zarya grab was big, like, they could stall that one for the respawns. I see why Ziad goes for it, but sick read from Eisnom, and that is going to put some hurt on GK on this retake. 5 ults for the defenders.
Yeah, I thought for a second like maybe there was an opportunity that like you know, Ziad's going to use it and then like switch over to D.Va here and like a mirror, but yeah, and they're going to kind of stay on the Zarya. Feels like maybe you can like work this advantage in terms of the tank battle. This is going to be a brutal fight though. I mean, 5 ultimates here for VP. Nothing really to work with for Geekay. I think if you're Geekay, you're looking to try and get a quick fight, get some of these ults out.
I mean, you're not going to be able to make the D.Va turning around the corner. That looks impossible. You've got to somehow step up. Playing the low ground, forcing point. I don't see you ever being able to break this hold. Now comes Override Protocol. Could be able to do just that. Needs to find some damage here for Lab and needs to open this one up. Orbital Ray adds yet more DPS to that front line. He's able to kill Kevster as he falls to the ground. Counter Orbital Ray from Landon though. VP down 1, but not dissuaded from continuing to take the pressure in this fight. Fixa with the rally. Rally trade now here on the point. They're trying to brawl through Fixa Finn.
Nice. رالينا يفوز. نعم.
Tracer, and as the dust settles, it's GK who take the flip, getting back control. This is huge for them. I mean,
اختيار ابدا مو موفق انك تلعب ديفا وضدك زاريا وبريك في نفس الوقت.
Kind of make it look easy.
اختيار ابدا مو موفق.
Sick fight for GK being able to win that there. And not give up a lead where now VP they're in a really brutal spot. It was a nice rally there from Finn being able to kind of like give over some health and attacks over to Ziad. Is like that's kind of where VP they were like all in on trying to get rid of the Zarya, but Ziad with a bubble and then some help able to stay alive. And see, I still are ready. I mean, almost like out of the armor. It does have a self-destruct to work with, so gonna have a second mech being get back into it. But still dire situation. This could be the first map going over to GK.
Alfie holding on to this point now. Doing a lot of work on the objective for the team. Opportunity for GK, but they've got to be able to find the damage while Tracer makes all of this distraction possible. Some big damage onto the brig. Eventually the shield breaks. Ziad
اوفر جمهور العربي مو كثير. لا والله كثير مرة يا حمزة بس.
يعني الواحد
قول ان شاء الله يعني قول ان شاء الله. يجي الخير يجي الخير.
The second support and this one he's all over but the Crying map 1 to GK. The prophecy map
ما
is
بالاول جي كي والله جي كي يا اخوان مفير والله. جي كي مبدع جدا مع ان احصائياته قبل ماشي.
If you look up and down the roster, you're like, hey, I mean, it's kind of like what I like. I mean, it feels like I've talked about it with every one of their games. If you get this level of play from like Haku and Finn, like you're gonna get like Alfie, Labda, and Ziad, like as just a you know, just strictly looking at like a DPS and tank, like ranked so high in the region, right? Like, you know, if you like deleted Twisted Minds, you'd be like, okay, that's like the strongest you know, tank in DPS combination that you could make in EMEA. Like there's an argument for that. So like when you get great support play, I mean, with it, this is the type of results that are going to happen. And obviously VP, they come out on the losing side here. I thought they had a pretty good map as well, but you just see how strong EK could potentially be.
It's just sick grab eat here from Eisnom, but it kind of comes to nothing. And I mean, kills like this, right, onto Kevster. I feel like Labda made a huge difference as well in this map overall, right? I think more often than not, found those wins in the hit scan battle.
If Kev can't win the hit scan battle against Labda, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for VP to win the series, right? Like, just full stop, even if everything else is, you know, even, or, you know, even kind of trends even a little bit slightly over towards VP. Like, Emery is so strong right now and can pump out so much damage that, like, if Labda is going to win that consistently by, you know, 3k, you know, 4k damage a map, that can make up for, you know, some support, you know, issues, or, you know, difference in terms of the support line. So, like, it's a huge story in this series.
Yeah, we also got to shout out, of course, the Elysian bundle. Guys, buying this bundle supports OWCS, and also, you don't just have to buy it, you can also enter. We've got to do a giveaway, right? We're going to be able to potentially get this in your hands for free. Scan this QR code, guys, to enter. Completely free.
Am I eligible?
We're just giving away good stuff to the people. I think you're eligible, Matt. You know what? I'm going to make that executive call.
Yeah, I'm
if you win, though,
yeah,
the people are going to come for you, Matt. It is going to look so scripted.
No,
I feel like you shouldn't
it wouldn't
enter.
look
I feel like
scripted.
that would be sketch, man. Like,
I think
I would lose faith in
everybody
you.
would understand me getting a free bundle.
You
And
just
I
being
think it would be-
generationally lucky would actually just
It would be
too
largely
perfect.
celebrated by the people, I believe.
The people love Matt. Is that true, people?
Yeah, there's a few people out there. No, might be mostly like relatives and close friends, but yeah, there's some people out there.
I got a family.
It's, Runa Sapi is the VP map pick, as they probably didn't expect to find themselves down 0-1 in the series just yet. So I mean, a little bit of a surprise probably for Virtus Pro. They don't get to pick many maps, really, just kind of like when they're playing against TM. So taking us to Runa Sapi here for map number 2. I'll be curious to see what they decide to do in terms of their bans.
I will say, so the Maga ban has been expended, right? Which for this team, I think is a big deal, right? They want to play Maga. They want to play that kind of like pace pushing style. I wonder if there's something like maybe a Vendetta ban or you know, to limit some of the aggressive potential of that style. I mean, for GK, they have to be ready for VP.
هافانا
VP
راح
has
يختارون
shown
هافانا.
a more unique style over through the whole stage, and so
هافانا
in a way they might be
ونانا.
more vulnerable to some of these hero bans, putting a crimp in their style. But I think the Maga is the most powerful ban of the series, and GK, they get the map win off of it, so you know, zero issues for them so far. But there is clearly a road back in strategically for VP. Looks like
Okay, so Juno ban.
wait, so
Okay,
does
so
that
it looks
mean
like
wait,
actually
VP gave up the ban?
Yeah, they gave up ban.
أنت
So
ركز
we
على
saw
كأس
this in
العالم.
Twisted Mind series as well.
كأس العالم اكيد شيء طبيعي الكل
VP
راح
gave
يركز
it
عليه.
up to GK.
بث كل المباريات ان شاء الله
Now
نحاول.
they get rid of Juno. What do you think? Would they go to
I
the
mean, I do think
tank pool?
you more often want to play like the Juno Brig with Maga because it like just better direct healing for Maga, who really, and like something like Orbital Ray plus the cage fight is one of the, you know, massive power combos. And VP are going to responsively ban the Pharah, which
فرح
I
بان
like. I think
فرح
this sets them up for success. with
بندين
something like
فرح
Vendetta.
غريب.
You know, like Pharah has
اوكي
been
جونو
seen as something of a
اوكي
counter pick to that hero.
مقبول يعني بان
able to put
جونو.
some pressure on her
واي لعبه
from
موجوده
range.
بثها مو لازم
And also
اوفر.
even for Maga,
ابث
like,
تقريبا
you don't love
مش
playing
كل
against
الالعاب
Pharah,
لا
but
والله
Mirage
الالعاب اللي
is
انا
not
افهمها
really
واعرفها
when
بثها
you're
صراحه.
trying to commit
يعني اروح ابث لك لعبه انا ما ادري ايش السالفه فيها ما مشكله.
It becomes a weird matchup when the Pharah is in play. So
خلينا
without
نشوف
the
المجتمع ايش
Pharah,
قاعد
there's gonna be a lot
يقولون.
more like grounded and heroes potentially vulnerable to that stomp.
Yeah, I think the Pharah ban is pretty strong.
Okay.
If you're trying to like, even when Maga was
كلام
at its
طيب
strongest,
بالمجتمع.
you'd see teams kind of go to the Pharah, right, to potentially, you know, just kind of like put some serious damage down onto the Maga. So without that gone, maybe that opens things up here for Ice Noman Cohen to bring that out in this map number 2, which. Dude, this feels like a huge map for VP. I mean, a lot of, you know, you lose 2 maps straight to EK. It's a lot of like confidence and momentum kind of down the drain. So feels like a map that you'd be looking at as most certainly a must win. EK
الماب الثاني
hovering
الجيم
over this top,
الثاني.
this is something most certainly they could do, right? This is kind of you know, what you would expect from them at the moment. I think VP obviously know a decent amount of flexibility here at their disposal.
Looks like they're not going to throw anything too crazy at it. Just want to take the mirror. Maybe they kind of agree. Maybe the Maga has lost some luster, as TM have said that maybe it just doesn't work that well. VP going to bring the full mirror here. For Landon and Fixa, though, this is the moment to kind of show some of that impact, show why this backline is looked at as such a threat here in the MMA.
عندنا تقريبا تشكيلة ميرور نفس الشيء.
Game one, they just need to continue that level of presence here in the series.
Yeah, Psycho was taking some big damage off the start. I think it was actually some of the nades that comes in from Lambda. We're able to chunk him down a considerable amount. Is odd positioning here off the start, but that's going to be Psycho getting rid of
بك بدري ذا مرة.
That is a great pick there from the Tracer on VP.
That's the dream kill on Tracer, right? With Kiri down to CGK, full aggro. They're just going to all deep send it into the back line. Great bubble. Keeps Fixa up way longer than he has any right to live in that fight. Now it's Eisnam filling up the feed here alongside Psycho. And an opening Kiri pick. It doesn't get better than that, frankly, to start the fight.
Psycho kind of wins that one right away there for VP. Really, I think he ends up with like 3 in the fight, but getting rid of Finn right off the rip, I mean, that is such an impactful pick, right? No Suzu, just the healing output there from the Kiri as well. And then you notice, right? Like Landon is giving himself a nice gap in terms of Kitsune rush here against Finn.
Double and recall used by Alpha Yi. GK still yet early in the map. Same trade from Psycho, neither really finds anything. Little cheeky flank fight, recall advantage here for Alpha Yi, but
افضل العاب الجوال ما احب البي سي. بوز في مشكلة. مستحيل البي سي افضل بمراحل يا رجال. ما ادري ان جربتها ولا لا، ما ادري يا حمزة. بس البي سي افضل بكثير من اي جهاز ثاني.
At the moment, but really it's just that one fight. It's a fight win there for Virtus Pro, behind those 3 kills from Psycho, and then it looks like we had another fight kind of getting ready to kick off there before maybe VP is able to take checkpoint.
Yeah, I will say that the good thing for GK is that they don't really give much progress while the fight is being cleaned up, and so they're able to cut their losses there, and you get a little bit of progress to start that fight out. But if you get like one clapback fight from GK, I mean, the game is right back to dead even, right? So, for me, this is still, about as tight as it gets. I do think, though, Psycho on the Tracer, and in a comp where Tracer can have a little bit more
الجوال
definitely going to be a key matchup, him versus Alpha Yi here.
في بعض الالعاب في الجوال الموجوده لما تلعب على البي سي افضل بكثير، مثلا زي كلاش رويال، مدري كلاش كلانس، دي الاشياء افضل الصراحه بالبي سي.
Yeah, I mean, Psycho can really start to take over that Tracer battle. That alleviates some of maybe the pressure onto Kev, right? That we were talking about, where like Lambda kind of really, played well in terms of the hit scan head-to-head. Really outperformed Kev in map number 1, where if you're looking at that trending that way for the rest of the series, you were really worried if you're VP. But if Psycho can kind of start to dominate the Tracer battle and really take advantage of maybe a little bit of a weaker GK backline, that can definitely turn this whole series.
Right back into the action here. VP holding on to this corner, but they're not too desperate really to control this position. I think this one is played probably. Yeah, it's probably going to be a nice slow play for, and to your point, I mean, Finn dying early in that fight means he's going to be far behind on rush. Landon starts to step up to the plate here. They're looking to swing this corner with a powerful rush. GK should expect this kind of an ultimate advantage to come in. Ziad holds. Nice.
كم مرة لو.
Stick from Alpha Yi. Great play by Landon. Stabilizes the team. But GK, yeah, they all survive out of this one, and the card gets stalled for quite some time, and Alpha Yi lives. So, but that late kill, Psycho finds Haku at the absolute last moment of the push. And for GK, without the Lucio, it feels like you don't really want to battle back into this one. Checkpoint, Virtus Pro.
Well, you don't have the speed to battle back in. That was actually like GK almost played that as good as you could, right? Alpha Yi was on the bot, just contesting it, not really allowing it to move, even when the rush was going down, and then they used the speed to back on out. It's just Psycho finds a late kill there on a Haku. Is going to be both Emery's using the ultimate.
لكم الطرفين. لبدح. لا والله مو لبدح، لا. شيله يلبدح، شيله تكفى يلبدح.
Hard as Jericho to avoid that. Both hits
Let's go. بس فازوا الفايت.
Both Tracers find the cleanups on the weekend opposition. Ziad though, energized. He's going to try and clutch this one out, but. Counter kill by Alpha.
GK قبل شوي كنا حلوين، وش صار يا ولد؟
All alone there, despite Lucio and Zarya being right by
قدم
his
مرة
side. So Alpha Yi
بيلد.
kind of doing God's work, and with that kill, the spawners being closer, GK hold, and they're going to kind of push back towards mid-map.
Yes, that is. I mean, Alpha Yi's having a really good map thus far. It doesn't really look like it's going to be the sound barrier there, just kind of trying to keep Ziad alive.
حلو البيت يا هاكو.
From Finn with the pulse.
دورك يا زياد، دور. نزل البيت بعد من طرفهم.
From Ziad, it's going to be the sound barrier from Fixa trying to keep everybody up.
حلو.
Beautiful stick there. Alpha gets the punish on Fixa, who's kind of dueling him with the last seconds of the beat. Still, Virtus Pro, the other 4 healthy. finding the kills elsewhere in the fight. Alfie just can't do enough into this one. And ultimately, it's going to be a cleanup. Eisnam, I think that when I saw that grab Guad, I think he was looking for Alfie blinking across the lane, was trying to get that Tracer additionally in the grab, but ended up only with the one man there. Was enough to, you know, save Ziad through it, but somehow VP just out-brawled in that fight.
It's VP looking for a shutout here on Runasapi as EK trying to make it back over towards the bot, trying to prevent even more of this progress. But because of like those early kills from Psycho onto Finn, it's kind of like resulted in this really weird mismatching in terms of the Kitsune rushes, right? Because Land is going to have another one here to put around the corner.
فيرت شكله يعود شكله قاعد يعود بالمباراة.
Comes in here from Landon and Gk had to hard kite this one. Trying to get away, but the rush goes pretty deep, putting a lot of damage on Ziad. You might live into this one, but the card is really pushing through crucial territory. Alfie stalls for a moment, but really can't stick around in that kind of a kill zone created by Virtus Pro. VP know the counter rush is coming in. They're going to be looking for a kite of their own. But GK instead called the bluff. They're pushing without the rush. Now the rush comes in. VP have to run for it, but Eisnam caught in a corner. No way to retreat from that one. So great timing from Finn there. Kind of delayed rush.
Yeah.
Ends up getting a good punish onto VP, who are almost preemptively kiting there.
Yeah, it's like they sped in Geekay and then didn't use the rush, and then kind of like once VP started to back out, they end up using the rush. We got a pause here. We're unpausing. We're going. And we're pausing. And we're coming back to Jake.
قسم البوز انت وياي يا ابوي خلاص نكمل الجيم.
117-0 is where it will sit. I still much further ahead in terms of another grab as well, as something I was going to point out. Ziad not able to get much damage down in that previous fight.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at some of the stats here, and it's definitely been a strong map so far for VP, right? But we sort of saw this in the last series, where when you were able to get these counter fight wins against TM, it was never clean. This one was clean, right? Like GK, they read, oh yeah, like you are going to try to kite our rush. You are playing so scared right now. We're just going to box you out kind of without committing. And then when we do rush, you're just out of resources. You can't escape anymore. And that means you get the clean fight win. You get back towards mid-map with all players alive. It requires you to win one more fight to make that really count, but you're set up for success in that regard, right? You actually have the tools to do so. And yes, Graviton coming up for Eisnam here momentarily, but a lot of ultimates nearly there, especially if you have something like Labda popping the override protocol, and we like it's hard for Kirkos to survive that, right? The TP around, I mean, you just have like that incredible Overwatch position up in the skybox, and kind of feels like you can dominate the server from there. So definitely eyes on Labda. He's been clean with the override protocol so far.
Yeah, Landon, you can see kind of the difference between him and Finn, right? If you look, it's just one death, right? But that one death and the amount of healing that Landon's able to kind of get off with kind of keeping his life alive for that long, definitely a huge difference maker here. Still 5 minutes to go on Runasapi. This Runasapi is looking to potentially be longer than our entire first series of the day.
That's brutal, Matt.
Is it inaccurate?
No, I don't think it is. It's a cursed prediction, but it's
ايش في عادوا الجيم مستحيل يكون عادوا الجيم.
Take a look at where we are in the set. Obviously, if you're just tuning in, Geekay takes map number 1. A little bit of a surprise. We think, obviously VP is second best team in the region, but Geekay is kind of maybe a little bit closer than we had originally had thought. So Geekay will finally get the bot across mid-map, start to gain some progress here.
مستحيل يعيدون الجيم.
VP are going to be right into this though. Eisnam has already come outside of the pulse bomb. Psycho shuts down the override protocol.
هذا الجيم شكله ما هو جيم جي كي.
Eisnam's going to try and win this one without even popping the
شكله مو جيم جي كي الصراحة.
Already 2 picks in the fight. A deep push by Finn, Haku, and Ziad, but it's too predictable. It's too desperate. Read like a bedtime story by Virtus Pro. Psycho, what a pulse bomb. Just stifles any hope for GK.
He's been sick on this map, specifically. Really kind of, really with the pulse bombs, right? And that early kill on a Finn really has kind of turned the tide in this map. Is
ما اتوقع ما ادري ممكن تصير صارت مشكله كبيره ولا شيء يعيدون يصير في ظلم كذا.
Sound barrier grab opportunities for both teams. It'll be Ziad ends up using the grab here. They do catch her one inside. Oh, nice beat there. Yeah, the later beat here from Haku though. Yeah,
the late pulse is perfect onto Kevster. He kills him just as the beat ends with all those defensive tools expiring. That'd be enough for GK to overwhelm. And with only a pulse bomb thrown in, I mean, other than both teams trading, of course, grab and beat, you invest one more pulse bomb, you get the fight win. That's going to feel good for GK. Once again, back to mid-map at full strength. VP, though, they're going to catch the full forward spawn. Going to see another fight, and this is one that GK really need to win. Kevster with the override protocol, though, you got to, like, smother him in the chokes, but he's already out. He's already putting down damage, making the backline respond. Has to play a little bit careful. Labda getting that bubble and firing back up into the sky.
لا يكرر
want to continue this aggression. GK kind of really position not looking good for them. Need to bubble and just.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Welcome حاتم.
I was gonna say, you know, Haku was just kind of like in the middle
لا
of the street.
لا
He was taking some serious damage there from Ice Stone. They used a bubble on him, but still not able to make it out with his life. As you know, VP able to hold on to this Kitsune rush for this kind of like last turn. Fortunately for GK, Finn does a nice chunk at like 30% of his ultimate there in that fight. So they're going to have the Kitsune to match it.
Rush is traded. No one dropping just yet. Icenom, though, he's too low and ends up getting cleaned up. GK with a strong position here, fighting from the high ground. 3 kills on the
حلو
fight.
حلو 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 حلو
For them.
حلو هذا بس والله هم انهم دفوا الروبوت مرة
The spawn wave.
بعيد.
And surely this is the moment where GK makes some real progress in enemy territory.
I mean, they haven't been able to like win 2 or 3 fights in a row. They're able to kind of, you know, clutch up back to their spawn, but like these are the ones they're gonna have to win towards mid map. It's gonna be Larry using the override protocol. Maybe they're gonna be able to split some players off here, and you think you're gonna be able to get one. I mean, this could give them some
يلا يلبته.
positive
لا
momentum.
اوكي بكين عندنا بكين. لا بكين.
Icenom, that's a crucial tool to be able to win. Still cleanup coming in. Icenom with no support behind him. Seems like he's like eventually gonna go down, but they're trying to exact more kills out of this Psycho. Icenom side by side, backs against the wall, and they get yet more out of it. Gotta remember, GK, they have the long spawn, so you know, for VP, they could get back in this one. In the end, though, GK, they get the fight win. They don't expend crucial ults, and the bot is rolling forward. So
yeah, and I think
those counter kills are nice, but
if you can get to this corner, you still feel pretty good. If you're GK, you see Psycho now kind of starting to move the bot, kind of create some separation. But with Haku dying, you're going to get everybody back here in the fight.
Faster beat for Haku. Could be a difference maker here. Alpha trying to get an aggressive and force some kind of a response out. With both Graviton Surges available, it's going to be scary for either team to push through the chokes. But of course, GK, they have no choice in the matter. They've got to go here. They've got to find some kind of aggression. Zion opens with an early grab and completely whips. Juked by VP. The backline stays alive. Psycho finds the kill to Haku. There's not going to be a beat in this fight. Vixa, though, also does drop. But I feel like Virtus.pro has just done enough. Beautiful.
واضح ان هذا ما هو
That
بجيمنا.
one is going to hurt for GK.
واضح انه ما هو بجيمنا هذا. يلا عوافي ما في مشكلة عادي.
But
والله
the
فيها
grab
عودة
is
فيها
Juke and
عودة
Kevster
فيها عودة.
laughing all the way to the bank. Great movement there. Emmerich and Lucio slipping away from that.
And it was like, do you maybe think about if you're GK end up using the beat to try and actually like kind of win that fight, but then it puts yourself in an almost unwinnable situation in the fight that you desperately need to win, getting checkpoint.
Big damage from Psycho on the back line, not being dissuaded. Aggression followed up by the override protocol. Kiri out of gas. Kevster gets that cleanup. And GK routed. With only 15 seconds left, Virtus.pro pressuring toward a potential full cap here. Like, GK need to rally. This is going to be brutal. Not just to hold here, but to even think about, you know, coming back in this map. It feels almost impossible. A grab opens up here. Beat comes in defensive from GK. Is going to keep them in the fight. Alfie using it to great effect onto the back line. Landed. Puts that pressure away. A better beat, though, coming in from VP. Vixa needs to find kills quickly, though, because inside the rush, it does get a little bit difficult. Alfie gets the pulse bomb onto Kevster, takes away one of those key damage dealers that Landon doesn't seem like he wants to commit the rush into this fight. It doesn't look good for them so far. Vixa does find a trade kill, but Virtus.pro, I think, wise to not gamble this close to the GK spawn.
No, you have to hold on to that rush. No reason to just kind of throw it away. I mean, you end up using the rush.
فيها أمل إذا بيفوزون كل الفايتات. كل الفايتات يفوزونها في أمل.
So you have this Kitsune rush. You also do have the pulse bomb, and Psycho's been really good on this map, specifically nailing those. What I am worried about, though, for VP, though, Jake, rush, and then you can just have Labda kind of use that override protocol and just put down lots of damage into it.
Can't kite the rush anymore, man. In overtime, but the pulse bomb, gets bubbled, I believe, there. So Psycho forces something out, but here comes the rush onto the card. They're trying to kill Ivan, trying to take the Zarya down early into the fight, but it's tough to try and fight into the rush. Ziad taking a lot of counter pressure, but eventually Izdam does drop. So despite Kitsune rushing on the ground, although as I say that Kevster finds this fight back into contest. And the hero for the day ends up being Kev. Despite losing Izdam, they're winning the fight on the flanks. and the rush is just enough to get the job done. Well fought by GK. I mean, that fight
فاز
looked
فيرتس
impossible.
1-1.
They make it
إيه.
interesting,
لا
but
تطولون
in the end,
الاقيام
they
يا
get the
جي
clean
كي.
up as expected.
ورانا ويكند
Put them out
ورانا
of the way,
ثلنا ورانا.
1-1 in the series.
Yes, that is a really it's a really tough fight for VP towards the end, where Geekay I thought played that quite well, but I know Kev, it looked like there with Fixa and Psycho just kind of like wrapped towards the side, and they're end up able to take it. Here you kind of see some of the stats. Kevin, Labda getting a little bit better in terms of the damage output, but Kev in terms of limb contributions, and then also keeping those deaths low, so important for VP.
Like this cleanse, crazy, like max vertical height cleanse to be able to save Kevster from that pulse. Actually, it's a crucial moment where they really open up a gap early in the series. Kevster, a little bit of sky dueling here, definitely crucial. Your ability to win these Emery battles. This pulse, though, it feels like this kind of broke the back.
Yeah, that was with the override protocol as well. As soon as he ends up popping the ult to get in the sky.
Love that pulse from Alfie, though. Perfect, like absolutely perfect timing. He goes early there, it just gets blocked by Cleanser Bubble. Alfie was putting up numbers in this one, but felt like a team play difference here. I felt like, some of these early fights, like the support ult usage from Landon when he had the advantage was really nice. This grab, though, is like, oh, that stings, right?
Yeah, if he like actually kind of connects with somebody there, maybe there's a world in which they win that fight, but looked like just at the moments that VP needed a clutch up, they showed up every single time, right? In all those key fights. I think
والمجتمع شو
Psycho
يقولون؟
had a really good map on the track.
فجأة ارتقى
Really good,
مستوى
but just some of the moments that Psycho had.
JK.
I think right off the rip, getting rid of Finn. That pulse bomb we see there were a few other kind of like key kills during the fights and early on. So I thought Psycho probably had a pretty standout performance there.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Some of those key difference maker kills and just constantly being a thorn in the enemy backline, right? When you play that Lucio Kiri, that's a powerful support line at fighting off tracers, but the tracer players who can stand toe-to-toe and put up some of those kills, put up a lot of that pressure without dying, they make a huge impact on the team. It's like that time the Kiri's dueling the tracer is time she's not healing the front line, right? It's time that, you're starting to lose position in the brawl. And so it's definitely impact felt by the tracers so far in the series. And as we go towards this third map, I'm really curious to see where GK decide to take us. Right now, they're in some control here. They get to take us to their strong point of a map. Kind of curious to see what that is. They have to have been thinking about this is their strongest moment to really throw a haymaker at VP. And the map 1 win does put them in the driver's seat in theory for the series.
What would you go to here? If we could maybe bring up the map pool, that would be awesome. But just to kind of like, you think we have Atlas and Suravasa. I don't think you would go to, maybe Suravasa you could kind of consider. Okay, they go to Blizzard World. This is like a pretty good map, like if you wanted to play Diva, right, and kind of control some of those high grounds.
Yeah, I think Blizzard World, I would say, is
Blizzard?
one of the weirder
CRJK?
maps in the pool in that
CR
there's
موفق.
possibilities to play dive. Teams even can, like in NA, we see people playing Sigma on this map. So I really think this is a map where when you pick this map, you have a very prepared strategy for GK. And so I actually love to see this in a playoffs moment where you come in with something cheeky, something prepared, something the opponent may or may not be able to match, and certainly they're gonna have to react to. So I like throwing a hybrid in. I think teams do a little bit too much. They play like control, flashpoint, and push, and they just more or less play the same high tempo, fast play style. But if you're a strong team in the attack defend look, can be an asset. Although now GK give the ban over to VP. Is the ban meta changing?
A lot of people kind of conceding this ban.
الياري وكاسدي
I think
البندات.
there is something with giving away the
غريب
first
الياري
ban and then kind of
ممكن الياري
having the
اوكي
other team,
كاسدي
pick the hero first kind of concedes maybe a little bit like what they're worried about or like what they're trying to deter you from playing, which kind of frees you up for the second ban. So it'll be an Alari ban there from VP to kick things off, and then Geekay just get rid of Cassidy.
I mean, I like the Alar ban. I think if a lot of the sort of weirder greedy strats on this map involve her, right? Like her ability to hold down an off angle better than most DPS can. Like if you can't clear that pylon, good luck ever dealing with the Alari. And when you try to dive her as a 5-man, she can kind of jump away, right, using that boop burst, right? So I think banning the Alari actually does kind of mitigate a lot of the biggest, issues or threats you might be thinking about from these weirder, greedy poke styles. So I kind of don't agree with giving the ban away. I would have rather seen a support ban from GK, because I think in a way those are some of the most crucial heroes to some of these more oddball styles. That being said, you could absolutely still play like on a Brig and still play whether it's like a Winston dive comp or something with a Sigma, and it doesn't take it out of the question. Taking away the Cassidy, though, in theory, suggests to me you want to play like, I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking Wrecking Ball, but like, is that something this team really plays?
Yeah, I mean, it is very interesting, right?
بعد هذه المباراة في شيء. طبعا الحين يا حمزة 1-1 النتيجة. اللي يفوز 3 أيام هو اللي يتأهل، والثاني يروح يلعب بتصفيات تحت.
Potentially kind of turning into a little bit of something to look at and kind of consider as we move forward, with the process. But yeah, it feels like GK may give up a little bit of control over the actual kind of meta on what we see here by giving away that first ban and maybe not getting rid of like one of those supports you talked about.
We'll have to see. I mean, this is certainly GK knowing that they want to play something wild and wonky here, and this is their opportunity to show us what it is. I think attack side on this map can be pretty difficult, honestly. Like defenders, I feel they can look really solid here. And nope, GK are rolling out full stock standard. An interesting choice. I mean, I guess why maybe taking us here, maybe they're worried about like blocking out some of the other hybrid picks, right? They don't want to deal with something wild and crazy on Midtown. In fairness, like some of the other hybrid picks do have an opportunity for some cheesy poke comps. But this is still the defense. Like on attack, there's still a possibility of showing something different. It's VP who are hovering some wild heroes. I mean, I think they're going to do some scouting. I think they have the same read that I do.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be some weird comp on defense. I think they'll be surprised when they come out and see,
Right, yeah.
It's Zarya Emra. Like, it's exactly what we've been playing against all day long.
No, they're just going to, jetpack cat up the Widow here, maybe. Oh, actually, looks like they used the cat with the ball there for a second. Yeah, they're just gonna switch here, and they're mirror. So this is actually not what I expected at all here on this map. And maybe it changes as we go towards like the second point, but at least off the start, just a clean old mirror matchup.
Yeah, GK electing to just hold by the point here, playing for that high ground setup. Interesting to see how Kepster approaches us on the Emery. What angle is he going to try to take?
يا حمزة يا حبيبي أنا شاكر لوجودك في البث، وقسم بالله إنك قاعد تسعدني بشكل مو طبيعي إنك موجود في البث وتسولف معي. لكن شوف، إذا ما ناسبتك اللعبة، ما ناسبك البث، هذه الأشياء ترى عادي تقدر تطلع. ما أنت مجبور إنك تقعد في البث. إذا ما ناسب شيء تقدر تطلع عادي يا حبيبي، ما أنت مجبور. لو في اي شيء بسيط ما ناسبك في البث ما تطلع عادي يطلع، ما حقول لك لا، يعني انت لست مجبور ابدا. حلو حلو حلو. ايوه خلوا الوقت عليهم يروح.
Get a decent amount of time off the clock. There is no, they tried to put some pressure on the point, but nothing. He's not able to kind of like gain anything. So a good start on defense here from GK. Finn, long range headshot there.
تقصد المباراة الثانية؟ دقيقة أنا أشيك لك الآن، بس ما أتوقع فيه، ما أتوقع اليوم في مباريات. ممكن بكرة، ممكن بكرة في مباريات، اليوم ما أتوقع فيه. خلاص لفرقتنا السعودية هذه آخر مبارياتهم اليوم. ده تويستد ولا تويستد القادسيه، والحين جيكاي هذا اتوقع اخر مباريات خلاص.
Getting energized knows that the defenders probably don't intend to really go past the corner onto an Zarya. And so the cost is going to be minimized. Virtus Pro navigating this one well. Early rush though for the defenders. They might look to rip it and go early here. Stepping up.
تسوني من الطرفين. لا هاكلو، لا التيم كله لو يا اخوان. حلو يبدا.
Trying to find targets in the chaos. Eisner staying up, staying healthy. The tank ball continues. Yad drops to his own energy mortar. With the override protocol over the top.
ما في اشكاليه، ما في اشكاليه، عادي اخرناهم شوي.
Maybe if you were able to survive a little bit longer, right? Sound barrier plus your own ground there for GK, but pretty clean fight there, with the Kitsune rush plus the override protocol there from VP. So they'll get the cart unlocked there. They'll get that first checkpoint, but GK now going to try and control some of this high ground.
Yeah, they can just play this one nice and slow, taking some poke trade. see how they intend to approach second point, right? Honestly, we don't see this matchup all that often on
No,
Blizzard
with
World.
this
So
Zarya?
it's like, do you really want to step patch the siege tank? Often we see teams play things a little slower, and Alpha Yi, whoa, takes the bubble and just one flips Landon. That had to have been a pure solo kill. Like, I don't see how anyone else could have put damage down there.
No, it looks like just an entire solo kill, and it's just like, what, he just gets the benefits of like, you know, the bubble and just like a double blink in and then finishes him off. I mean, that's crazy work there from Alpha Yi.
Yeah, he's been putting up numbers, man, with these bubble blink-ins. I see where they're going for him. Putting up some real pressure. VP, though, in the end, card keeps rolling forward. So the actual objective cost of that kill isn't high. Next fight, though, going to be crucial. Earlier recall from Alpha. He continues to take this trade, but Lambda with the override protocol ensures no support can come in. Fight goes on an island, but he's staying alive for now. Bleeding out some of these crucial ultimates step by step here for the Virtus Pro attack.
And this is so odd. You see the Zaryas there just kind of like, because it's not even like a, okay, now Ziad drops and just kind of like rounds the corner. I was like, hey, it's really just Alfie on the cart, checking Ice Snow, making sure he can't push it. And then Ziad on the high ground, just trying to deter the rest of the players from VP to making it through the choke, as it'll be the grab here. They're going to connect with Haku. Haku gets the beat off.
Almost a forced grab by Eisdom, just has to do something. He's just dying to spam out in the open, and in the end, the grab not going to change anything. The beat is good from Haku, stabilizes, and counterpunch brutal here from the defenders. This is an awkward map to play this Zarya on attack. Like, coming up and pushing that cart in the wide open space is kind of the worst case scenario for Zarya. So I in a way, GK, by playing something more standard to the meta, have honestly thrown a little bit of chaos.
Well,
they don't see him. What? If he pulses, they're just going to cleanse it, though. Oh, the Kiriko teleported away. Haku left on his lonesome, and what a pulse. But Hester does find the trade. Crazy burst from him and Fixa.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not the target he wanted. I think he actually wanted Fixa, right? Because Fixa's got the beads, but you do end up with Kev, who does have the override protocol, so pretty impactful. It's going to be Kitsune Rush and Sound Barrier used up on the high ground. It's going to be just a two-player beat.
Yod trying to stay healthy, trying to fight it on the high ground. Fixa boot down away to the low ground. Gives Yod a bit of a tempo advantage. Good hold from GK, keeping that position. They step up aggro, but Kevster is here with the override protocols. Yod had not accounted for that. And it's all Kevster in the feed so far. Virtus Pro looking to do this one clean, keeping the sports alive. Great defensive play from Landon and Fixa, because now 5 players alive. They can take full map control. GK on the retake.
GK can probably come back here and try and make a play for this, though, right? You have the bubbles here for Lambda. Lambda's going to have the override protocol. And you might end up getting over towards beat. Like, it's really, you know, kind of a, you know, a toss-up if you get that. It's going to be a bubble there on the Lambda as he uses the override protocol, gets high in the sky.
Virtus Pro backing off for now, staying alive. GK without really any tools to catch escaping players. So you need to use that override protocol just to get space on the map, but now you're gonna have to win a fight heads up. Haku close to that beat could be important. Alpha E holding onto that cart well, ensuring that no cheeky progress, no C9s come in. Psycho's in the background with the pulse bomb, though. We've seen him do some damage from this position before, but a beat comes in. Izdom dropping low, gets overwhelmed. GK swarming forward on top of the attackers, ensuring that they do not have the opportunity to build up those key ultimates. You can see on that top right bank, man, they were close to a grab. Could have been able to get aggro with it. So GK, great job catching the tempo, and the map might just be over. Psycho's dead late, 10 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, look, it costs VP a lot to get to this point, and then now in a difficult spot, it looks like Fix actually gets a bubble there trying to contest, and he is not going to be able to make it, neither will Landon. So that will be where VP's push ends. Pretty good defense there from GK.
Yeah, really well done. I think they just knew how to play the Zarya comp on Blizzard World, which I think a lot of teams might actually not be super experienced with. So really cool pick from GK. They're looking very much playoffs ready. That being said, I said the map might be over, misspoke. It's just the round. VP absolutely with a win con, right? Pushing it near to the end of second point is absolutely good enough for a real shot at this. I mean, capping first point is not a foregone conclusion on Blizzard World.
No, not at all. So, I mean, we'll see if GK can actually make some progress on offense here, but you know, at least right now, put together a pretty good defense and opportunity to steal this map. I mean, you know, taking that 2-1 lead for GK would be huge, right? Because you'd obviously have some map selections there towards the end of the series that would definitely pay off.
Absolutely, they look well prepared into this one. Haku has been nice with the beats, but I feel like you really have to think about Alphagi for a key difference maker, right? Some of those, the kills he's able to find, the chaos he's able to inject. have been massive. And VP have been caught flat-footed more than once in this series by what GK are able to pull out with this kind of aggression. We'll see if there's anything off of the stock standard to open up here with. I assume Finn is just baiting. Don't expect to see the Wu Ying come out here. Gonna check the comp here, consider their options, but yeah, in the end, they pick this map. They want to play the Mare.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a reason to swap. It's a little bit odd, right? Like, typically we see teams go to Blizzard World to play something more like a D.Va, but just a head-to-head Zarya action here on this map as the VP just kind of playing a little bit further back than we did see Geekay play it. Just going to play for more of this high ground as Labda and Kev just kind of trading shots up there.
Both Tracers attacking each other's back lines, trying to put some pressure on. Psycho comes back for the peel. The Laufey comes back to defend, but holding on the point. So this point is getting awkward, though. Ziad caught in a weird corner. And VP made a chase into enemy territory. GK really forcing that one on Ziad. Ends up in a really odd spot. I don't know that I've seen attackers come to that position, and it doesn't go well for them.
Yeah, and not ideal, I would say, for GK. And I mean, typically, right, if VP is going to play a little bit further back, like hold that high ground, maybe you want to get Alfie like wrapping all the way around, right, putting some pressure onto those players, and then kind of like you have Alfie on one side and then some long range hit scan from another, like forcing those players off of the high ground. That is not really what we saw there. Everybody, the supports and Kev able to sit up on that high ground, be pretty safe.
Labda crosses the angle, starts to put some pressure down on the point, but Kevster strikes first, finds Haku without the Lucio, hard to get aggressive. Look at GK though, they want to take this off angle with the Zarya. But Eisner just holding it down on point. Now looking to step up, looking to go for a cleanup here. A little bit risky without many more player kills, but Kevster, Psycho combined to clean up Labda. Should be enough. Whoa, the rush. Okay, they're committing Finn all in on this one. Uh-oh, Matt, that is a suspect commit.
I mean, there was no chance they were winning that, right? The rush also from Finn comes out after Landon, so it's like somewhere along the line he thinks that later rush, like you're going to be able to kind of come out on top there. But
yes, Matt, I'm not even sure why Landon rush. I guess both. Maybe they saw some low. Maybe the enemy Zarya's low. They think, oh, we can just overwhelm. We can. If you kill the Zarya, like in fairness, even if the fight goes bad, you probably can still get back in and cap with the closer spawn. But trading down rushes takes a lot of the chaos out of the fight. VP, I think they're going to be pretty comfortable with this one. Sitting defensively with the grab is a very good spot to be. It's hard to push into. See Eisner, he's looking for those opportunities. Doesn't want to take the solo onto Ziad, though, at least not around the corner. Needs to consider his hit sand angle.
Yes, Alfie, that's going to be the recall used right away. And Labda falls as he's working towards that override protocol from Psycho. So everybody backs out for GK's Jake. This has been a pretty ugly offense. I mean, you have what, probably one good attempt at this here for GK coming up with a minute below on the clock. So looks like Alfie is still behind.
معلش طولت عليكم معلش.
He's here though.
ايش صار؟
Yeah, they do. They're going to try and root him out before the fight begins. And oh, it's kind of a nice timing to get him, but Alfie slips away to that mini pack. I don't think you're going to want to really chase that. Override protocol from Labda. Graviton Surge is out. The main fight crucial into this one.
صراحة بوينت أولى.
Later be before anybody drops.
عندنا التيات شباب، نفوزها. كبتسر لا يكري هذا يا الله.
But the trades keep coming in. VP split around the map here with DPS and support. And Ziad chasing his tail does.
يا آخر شيء.
It's a nice
kill.
I mean, the hit scan not being there at the start.
والله ياسف معلش يا
help
شباب.
these attackers get in, but will it be enough? 15 seconds on the clock.
آخر فايت.
Ziad actually comes to the D.Va, wants to really push tempo, but Landon has a faster rush, and the Zarya into D.Va inside the rush. That's a scary matchup.
And everybody's going to be back at full strength, right? So it's not like you get some kind of spawn advantage here for GK as we head into OT.
Yeah, rush down on the point. They know you have to contest into this, and the backline also going to be exposed to that threat.
يا الفاي ضيعت كان نستفيد منه.
Looking to stifle their opponents here with the full hold. Eisner finds one kill, a second and a third in the feed, sealing the deal. GK tried to get cheeky, bringing us to a map that they thought VP might not.
لا يا أخي جي كي بدايته بداية كويسة والحين طحتوا. العموم يا جماعة أنا انشغلت شوي، فاضطر إني أقفل البث.
Yes, that
آسف
is,
والله العظيم
on
آسف
a
جدا.
GK map selection, right? You thought maybe they would try and use
معليش
that,
والله العظيم
to kind of move the meta a little
مضطر
bit
جدا
further
إني
in their
أطفي البث.
favor, but they just kind of go for another mirror matchup.
نشوفكم بإذن الله بالبث الثانية.
Psycho one death.
شكرا يا حمزة
That's
على
Yeah.
تواجدك
pretty impressive. This is a
كالعادة يا
tough
حمزة
part.
الله
It-
يسعدك
Tracer
ما
can
تقصر
get
دائما.
roasted quick. Like,
شكرا محمد، شكرا اللي
it's-
خش
it's
كلهم
not
جو،
a
شكرا
combo you
سلطان
really expect
جو
her to
سولفوا،
have
شكرا
very
لكل واحد
good
حط لايك.
outcomes.
نشوفكم إن
But
شاء الله
she's
في
in
البث
the
الثانية.
fight more often than not.
مع
I
السلامة.
mean, look on the other side, right? For Alfie, right? 6 deaths, a little bit of higher damage than Psycho, but Psycho just did a great job playing his life, staying alive. I know Haku had a rough time staying alive in this one. I know 8 deaths from the Lucio on Geekay, but really for me, it was just Geekay's offense. Like their defense was totally fine, right? Preventing